As always, we are here to answer your fantasy questions.
As always.
Deep into the season, Badaki. Getting very, very deep. These wins become more and more crucial as each week goes on. I mean, I'm 6-4 in our home league, and I'm looking at the standings saying I could be out of the playoffs this week if I don't win.
Same.
Same. That's how intense it is over there. So we're going to do our absolute best to answer everyone's questions. At minimum, everyone's questions that we can answer, we will. Keep in mind that Super Chat is an option. If you want to skip the line, that is always available to you. There is no obligation to use the Super Chat, but it does skip the line for you. We will be answering questions from top to bottom. And do us a favor, as we start the stream here, go ahead and smash that like button for us. A very, very simple way for you to help support this channel, to support us, to kind of keep us going and help us reach more people. So we appreciate y'all. Before we get into answering some questions, I want to know your most difficult decision, Badaki, yourself. Let's relate to the people. I got a couple difficult decisions. What is your most difficult decision this week in a home league?
Playing against you this week in one of our home leagues, and I have to wait between Nico Collins and Garrett Wilson. Both of those guys are kind of injured, struggling right now. I do have them technically both in the lineup, but if Garrett Wilson doesn't play and Nico Collins does play, that means I need to start either out of the three: Jahan Dotson, Quentin Johnston, or David Njoku. And that's not okay.
It's a tough place to be.
I need to win.
But you did win Thursday night because we both had a player, and you had Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon went for 21. Now, I had Justin Tucker, 11 points from a kicker you'll accept, but you probably have the best kicker in fantasy right now in the Dallas kicker, Aubrey, with the amount of points they're putting up. So anything's possible. We both need a win in that league.
I need to win out. I need to win out if I want to make.
Yeah.
I think the playoffs.
I'm not far away from that.
So it's every single game is a must win.
My most difficult decision is it's a more exciting decision to make than the one that you just described, but it's still a difficult decision. I have to choose between Devon Achane and Sam Laporta or Garrett Wilson. It's those three. I can start two. So it's difficult. I mean, it's weird to say that I kind of am hoping Garrett Wilson doesn't play, because then you don't play him and I can make a decision that I feel confident in. You know what I mean? In this other league. So it's difficult.
It's going to be tough too, because he has an afternoon game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, but I think Garrett Wilson will play from all our understanding. But anyway, guys, just like you, we are struggling with decisions. Since our last stream, Joe Burrow went out for the year. That is devastating. But I will say that if you started him, it was looking good. It was looking really, really good.
It was looking really good.
He was on track for a big game. Just unfortunate that injury happens. And then also the Mark Andrews injury. I mean, I don't want to watch Thursday Night Football again. Thursday Night Football is cursed.
They were both on track for if I'm not mistaken, I think that drive, Mark Andrews was targeted, 3 times there?
Yeah.
In that drive, and that was the first drive of the game, gets injured. It could have been a big game for both Joe Burrow and Mark Andrews. It's unfortunate, but
what can you do?
On to the next one, essentially for Dynasty, if you're really thinking about it, if you have Dynasty leagues.
If you have Dynasty, definitely keep Mark. I wouldn't sell him, but yeah, tough place to be. But let's go ahead and start at the top. Isaac Rodriguez is the first question that I can see. Laporta, Cook, Warren, or Godwin at flex full PPR. For me, this is Laporta. I don't know where you stand.
Yeah, I'm going Laporta as well.
Oh, Laporta. Yeah, I'm in that league where I'm considering flexing Laporta because I have Kelsey against not you. It's a different home league, but we got a super chat. As you guys know, super chats do skip the line. Thank you for your donation, Crisscross Applesauce. Chase owner. Oh no. Do I do Chase Olave for Smith Kirk?
I would say if you are in the playoffs, I'm happy to pivot. That's what I would say.
What does Chase's playoff schedule look like?
He has Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Okay. So I'm not necessarily sure if I'm going to want to have anyone on this Bengals team. I think there's going to be somebody that we're going to want. but we've never seen Jake Browning with Chase, with T, with anyone here. If anything, you kind of expect them to kind of run the ball a little bit more, have a little bit more dump offs. I think Browning's going to take chances. You might get, a 15-point game from Jamar, but you're not going to get that high upside 24 type of point game anymore. So I'm happy to do this trade. Devonta Smith out with Dallas Goedert there, and then Christian Kirk, I think, is the most underrated wide receiver right now because of his targets, his consistency. He's a top 20 wide receiver right now. So I'm happy to take the chance.
So to me, the most valuable player in this deal is actually Chris Olave. With the amount of targets that he's seeing, I mean, he is getting targeted. Like, there's very few wide receivers that you could point to. Just they haven't been on the same page. And I just feel I hear where you're coming from with Kirk, but I don't mind the schedule for Jamar Chase in the playoffs. Minnesota is a very good matchup. You can't run on them. You can throw on them. Pittsburgh, another very good matchup. These are two top 10 matchups for your wide receivers right now. I'm hoping by that time that we have figured out how to get Jamar Chase the ball. And I don't want to disrespect Christian Kirk. I definitely hear where you're coming from. I just think Olave is the best player in that deal, in my opinion. So I would stick with Chris Olave's side, but I can understand both sides. It is very, very close. Yeah. Thank you for your donation. We're going to go back up to the top. Do us a favor, smash that like button for us as you join the stream. Submit a question and hit the like button to show some love. We're going to go from top to bottom answering questions. Super chats do skip the line. No obligation, but it is an option. Just Flow is the next one in order. Any changes? We've got Monty, Aaron Jones, Amon-Ra, Kirk, Waddle. We're flexing Mostert. On the bench, we have Cooks, Rice, Hunt, Herbert. No, that's the lineup I would field, even though I do like Rice this week. Jay Bleasy says, half PPR. Have Dell locked in at wide receiver. Pick one more wide receiver in a flex. Brees, Connor, Waddle, Puka, Kirk, or Garrett Wilson. Let's be honest. We are bound to miss. You have so many options that anyone in a 12-man league, there's probably no way they can't start these names. So let's just start there. But I would definitely flex Brees Hall. And I'm playing Puka Nacua over Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
I don't see how you sit one of these guys, but we have to, right?
I agree. And that's exactly where I was going to go. Brees Hall, Puka Nacua, all these guys should be started there, Jay Bleasy.
Yeah.
John, he said, hey guys, I have Allen, Tua. I'm interested in trading one of them to the Joe Burrow manager. Our waiver wires has QB 2 starts and worse. It's crazy for me to see if I can trade Allen for Amon-Ra or Tua for Pittman. Look, if you can take the opportunity and trade one of these guys, I would personally prefer to trade away Tua. I would rather have Josh Allen.
Well, I would rather keep Tua and get Amon-Ra than keep Allen and get Pittman, personally.
I would say, like, for me, it just depends on what you can get more of, but I think I'm happy to keep Allen. I think he's going to have a higher ceiling on a week-to-week basis. But maybe if you could send Allen for Amon-Ra, I'm happy to do that. But yes, in the trade that you personally said, the two options that you personally said, I would rather have Amon-Ra, but I would personally be looking for another type of wide receiver if I were going to trade away Tua. I'm looking at the Chris Olaves. I'm looking at who else am I looking at? I guess that's really it, right? I mean, it's maybe a Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I would go with Amon-Ra, personally.
Yeah. I think it just depends on the wide receiver on Tua, but Michael Pittman is not the guy that I would want. And I know he's been doing all right, so hopefully that helps there.
Yeah, Morgan. Amon-Ra for me. Okay. We did just get a super chat from Belizo. Thank you for the $20 donation. That's very kind.
Appreciate you.
That's too kind. Thank you. Says, what's up, fam? Trade Walker and Garrett Wilson for JT and Deontay. Let's start there. Trade Walker and Garrett Wilson for JT and Deontay. So that's Kenneth Walker. You're moving off of Ken Walker to JT, but you also downgrade from Wilson to Deontay. Or trade DJ Moore and Walker for Devontae Adams and Mixon. Don't want to acquire Mixon anymore. We talked about acquiring him because of the offense, because of how efficient the offense was becoming with Joe Burrow getting healthy.
Yeah.
No longer the case. No longer the case. I mean, 19 of his 21 points came before the Joe Burrow injury, by the way. Because I remember looking at your team and thinking, oh my God, Joe Mixon already has 19 points. And it was right when Joe Burrow was injured. So, not the offense we want to really chase anymore. Other running backs are Breece, Achane, Gibbs, Ramondre, Sharps, trying to get rid of Walker through the rest of the season schedule. I'm overall fine with the JT and Deontay side myself. I don't know where you stand. Of course, keep in mind Jonathan Taylor's on a bye this week, so as long as you don't need a play this week, then I'm pretty happy with that. He gets Pittsburgh in Week 15, which is a great matchup. Atlanta's not a good one, but then Vegas in Week 17, so two very good matchups to end his year there in the fantasy playoffs. And as far as Deontay goes, I wasn't sold that he was going to be like a top 12 guy rest of the year, like a lot of people were, but still, it's a good matchup rest of the year. Colts, Bengals, and Seattle in the playoffs. I like that. And he'll be a safe play. Just won't have the upside of Garrett Wilson does.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I would second that. I'm happy to take the chance on JT and Deontay. I would say this. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers comes back, which I don't know how true that can actually be.
Yeah, I hear you.
I wonder if I want to keep Garrett Wilson. But that's a huge chance that you can take there. With the reports of either it's true, whether him coming back after Thanksgiving or in the first week of December, which I'm pretty sure it's still during the playoffs, but I could be wrong. Fantasy playoffs specifically.
I would love that. I would love for him to come back. I'm concerned that because one of the things that he mentioned is we have to be in it for me to come back. I don't know if you watched those interviews.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that he mentioned. Look, we have to be in it to come back. They play the Bills this week, then they have the Dolphins. Well, I'm just looking at the upcoming schedule. They play the Bills this week. They play the Dolphins twice. They play the Texans, which is not a free win. So I'm just concerned that he's like, I could come back, but we are now 6-8 or something. It's like, is it worth it? But
you can still
I
make
agree.
it. You can still come back in 6-8 though. Like playoff teams have.
I guess you technically could. It's unlikely, but I think to me, if they're 6-8, he's not coming back. But I could be wrong. So something to consider for sure.
Thank you for the super chat there, Blazo. Appreciate you. We did get another one from Sam. He says, "Half PPR, start 12. If Michael Wilson can't go, who do I start at flex? Brandon Cook or Christian Watson? My opponent hasn't set his lineup yet." This one's very interesting. I think Christian Watson is Michael Wilson is a good high upside play this week. He was somebody that I was going to bring in my video. Didn't know if I should bring him because of the injury. I know he's going to be questionable coming in. If he does play, obviously you start Michael Wilson. If not, I feel like the one you can go to is Brandon Cooks, just based off what we've seen these past couple weeks. Has it been, something you can rely on? Absolutely not, but neither is Christian Watson. So I would rather take the chance on a high-scoring game versus the Panthers rather than, Christian Watson, who's kind of been up and down. I know he's playing against the Chargers. But I'm just not liking the way he's being utilized. He's just being utilized as a deep threat.
It's almost like Jameson Williams, but it's not being talked about as much.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, okay, like I get it. Like he is a speedster, but like he wasn't being utilized
for these athletes,
Yeah. So I would rather go Brandon Cooks. Personally, I'm not sure.
I would also do that, but obviously Michael Wilson would be my preference. And he'd have more respect if that touchdown counted last week, which technically it shouldn't have, but I mean, come on, it's so close. But yeah, Michael Wilson, Brandon Cooks, Christian Watson in that order for me, and I think you would agree. Thank you for your donation. Mr. Tres Cerro Cinco says pick 2. Thank you for the donation. Full point. Trey McBride, I guess that's probably Deontay Johnson, right? Christian Watson, Samuel Porter, Rashee Rice. We got to pick 2. Also, any high upside stashes you guys want to shout out would be dope. Okay, so let's start with pick 2. To me, it's the 2 tight ends. Trey McBride and Samuel Porter would be my options. I think both of these guys are going to be crucial parts of their offense in a very good matchup. So it would be the two tight ends, in my opinion. I don't know where you stand there.
I agree. That's exactly where I was going. The two tight ends, like you said, very crucial to their matchup. Laporta against the Bears, and then McBride against the Texans, which should be a high-scoring game, at least one of the highest over-unders this week. And for the stashes, I would assume you would kind of say your thing.
Well, I mean, all I would say is just I did record a video this week. That is on our channel, and if you do want to check that out, I'll go ahead and drop the link to that in the chat. Feel free to watch that. But a couple ones I'll just quickly shout out. I did shout out Michael Wilson. I think he should be stashed. I mean, but when I made that video, he was only rostered in less than 7% of ESPN leagues. Rondale Moore, A.T. Perry for a deep league. No Michael Wilson, or Michael Thomas rather. He played the most snaps of any player on their team, got the touchdown. Tanner Hudson was looking like maybe another tight end stash that was going to dominate. I mean, he was balling out with Joe Burrow, but then Joe Burrow got injured. Zay Jones, I think, is very sneaky, and I got the most hate in the comments for the Zay Jones pick because of his recent legal issues, you know. But to me, how many times have we seen this? Like, a guy gets into legal trouble and then he plays for his team, and it's pushed back to a different year. You know, I mean, there's literally video evidence of Alvin Kamara beating someone up, and they're like, we'll push that back to a different year. So, like, maybe people don't feel good about it ethically, but if you're looking for like a deeper stash, because Badaki, if Zay Jones played this week versus the Tennessee Titans, he's instantly a top 40 play at the wide receiver position for me. And in a deeper format, that's a very intriguing guy. I mean, he is the touchdown getter for this team, as weird as that sounds. And they've missed him. It's been very clear that they've missed him. So I know I got a lot of hate for that one in particular, but to me, deep stash, he's available in a lot of leagues right now. So, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Alan was just talking to me. I would say, yeah, all those guys are pretty good pickups. You know me with Zay Jones. I'm really interested to see when he does come back what that looks like. With Christian Kirk.
I just think it's been so obvious how needed he is in that offense.
Oh, he's definitely needed. I'm not disagreeing. I'm interested to see how that's going to affect Christian Kirk.
2 full games played for Zay, by the way. In both of those games, he caught a touchdown. So something to keep in mind there. All right, so those are all the donations right now. Keep in mind, if you want to drop a super chat, you will skip the line, but obviously no obligation. We're going from top to bottom. Do us a favor, go ahead and hit that like button for us. Already over 50. You guys are awesome. The next question in order is from Morgan. Morgan says, have PPR pick 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs in a flex. Adams, Ayuk, Dell, Kupp, Achane, Connor, and Javonte Williams. And this is another impossible question, but we're going to try our best to answer it. Some of your guys' options are just crazy. I'm starting Cooper Kupp. I'm starting Brandon Ayuk. I would start Achane and Javonte Williams. And then in the flex, how do I choose between James Conner, Tank Dell, and Adams? Like, how do I choose that? But probably going to be James Conner for me in that matchup versus Houston.
That would be Tank Dell.
Okay.
That's the only thing I would switch would be Tank Dell. For me there, Morgan.
Rest of season, JT or Bijan. I think you're going to get similar outcomes between the two. Mm-hmm. And they're both explosive players. They're both very talented. I don't really have a strong preference. I think Bijan's schedule is very enticing, though. So I'll go Bijan.
Yeah, I was going to go Bijan as well, so I'm happy there. Ham traded Mixon and Ridley for Devonta Smith. My running backs are now Etienne, Taylor, Connor, and my wide receivers are
I like this.
Kupp, Amon-Ra, JSN. How did I do? Yeah, I don't mind it either. Especially with the injuries now to Joe Burrow. Calvin Ridley still hasn't been consistent. So I'm happy with Devonta
I was thinking
Smith.
about this today. Like, what would it take for me to actually trust Calvin Ridley into my lineups again? I don't know that we have the time in the season to gain that trust again. It has to start this week, and it has to be 2 back-to-back weeks of important usage.
Well, this is another big week for him. I mean, every single week has been pretty big with good or bad matchups, but like this is what is it, a top 8 matchup for wide receivers this week again,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So, I could be wrong there. I'm not necessarily sure where the Titans line up at the moment. Yeah, they're actually top 6, top 5 actually. So if he doesn't produce here, then still very concerning.
Yeah. Messe is the next one. Do you trade JT for Aaron Jones and Puka? Receivers are currently Tyreek, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, and Gabe Davis. Running backs are currently JT, Mixon, and White. I would be curious if you could turn JT into Mixon, but probably couldn't, right? I mean, if you could do Mixon for Aaron Jones and Puka, it's a no-brainer. But either way, I would view Puka and JT kind of similarly rest of the year. So the fact that you get Aaron Jones thrown in, clearly your wide receiver room could use a big upgrade. So I'm fine with the deal personally. I like the Puka side, but I would just be interested in, hey man, what about Mixon straight up for Puka? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need Aaron Jones, but I'll give you Mixon straight up for Puka. I'd rather do that if that worked.
Yeah, I would agree there. I would completely agree.
Ramon. What's up, Ramon? Should I flex Nico Collins, Tank Dell, or Devon Achane?
Got Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Gibbs, and ETN starting. Also choosing. Okay.
The last one will both go
like
Herbert. I love Kyler this week, but the last one will both go Herbert.
I agree.
How do you answer that first
one? You start all of them. All these guys have really good starts coming into this week. I know we have to choose one. Let me ask you this: you need a high upside play or a safe floor? Because Devon is a high upside. Arguably, some would say even a safe floor, but we haven't even seen his floor. The only time we saw his floor because he got injured, if I'm not mistaken. And Nico and Tank, I feel like are both safer floors than Devon. So I think that's your. And I mean, there's so many different scenarios as well. Like, is Devon going to get the true workload, or like not even the true workload? Is Devon going to get his 11 original touches, or is he going to get more like 5 touches?
To me,
but even with those 5 touches, he can go off. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, Achane's one of those guys I have this week in my video where I'm excited to play. I feel confident in playing them. I don't have any concerns. But you're putting 2 very good options right beside him as well. It's not like these are scrubs by any means. I would lean Tank Dell, but it is very close. It is very close. I'll say this. If you need, and I know this sounds ridiculous because Tank Dell looks like the upside play, but I'll say it. If you really need to shoot for the stars, I would be comfortable putting Achane in there. But I think Tank Dell is a safer play based off what we've seen recently.
Exactly. So I think that's the best way we can answer this question. High upside, safe floor.
Yeah.
Unless you are chilling. If you're like 8-2 or whatever the record is, 9-2 or 10-0, whatever.
Which player are you gonna have more fun going off?
Put Devon.
Yeah.
Put Devon in, But like, if you need a win, you need to go with the safer floor, I think.
Yeah.
And that can either be Tank or Nico.
Hey, a couple friendly reminders, guys. If you are spamming your question in the chat, you will be put in timeout. No one's question is more important than the other person, so if you're spamming, it's not going to get your question answered quicker. In fact, it might just get you blocked. So keep that in mind. We're going to go from top to bottom, trying to prioritize everybody in order. The only time we go out of order is if someone donates. Again, no obligation, but it is an option. And do us a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. Only 2 likes away from 60 already, which is awesome. The stream is starting off hot. You love to see it. The next question is from Eric. It says, you guys weren't too hot on my other options. Jaleel, Rashawn, Jet McKinnon for my final spot stash, but somebody dropped Fournette. Look,
you weren't too hot because
I still don't feel like any of these options excite me. I don't want to spend too much time on it because there's so many questions, but does any, all right, let's just say none of these names excite us, but if you had to choose one, which would you choose? Let's just do that.
I'll choose Jet.
Okay. Yeah, same. I don't know.
I'll choose Jet.
Points allowed is key for defense in my league. Who gives up less points this week between Miami and Cleveland? Probably Cleveland. I don't know about you, but Kenny Pickett doesn't really worry me. neither really does the Raiders, but I just feel like they have a better overall. They have more superstars to make plays.
Yeah, they have momentum right now, and
Yeah.
you want to go with Kenny Pickett, who really doesn't have momentum, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, hey guys, thought on Zach Moss. I'm going to pick him up on waiver wise since he has a free spot on momentum. I mean, you can pick him up. Maybe JT goes down, but not somebody that I'm willing to spend a lot of fab on or anything. Happy for you to pick him up and stash him, but not start.
He's actually a good stash because if Caleb Williams,
Giants' future quarterback, talk it up.
If Jonathan Taylor goes down, then Zach Moss is a startable guy straight away. Sports Recap says, would you guys trade Josh Jacobs or Gibbs for Pollard? No. Under no situation, under no 100%. Circumstance.
100%.
HQ says, start Ford or Singletary this week, and would you hold Singletary and Pierce or drop one for the Jets defense? I mean, that's up to you, man, on the last one. I mean, that's a decision you're going to have to make for yourself. But on the first one, Jerome Ford or Devin Singletary, it's Devin Singletary for me. Both of these matchups are great. I feel better about the Houston offense scoring on Arizona than I do Cleveland against Pittsburgh. If Deshaun Watson was playing, that would be different. The last time we saw Dorian Thompson-Robinson play football, it was probably the worst quarterback performance we have seen this year. And I'm sure he'll be better. It's hard not to be better than that. But I'm going to go Devin Singletary, one of the best matchups for your running back. And on an offense that I believe is going to score a lot of points in the highest over-under of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jerome Ford. I actually still believe he has a safe floor coming into this game. And yet DTR has not been great. But my expectation is that I don't think he plays the whole game because of,
that's just not a game I want to be a part of offensively. If he's that bad and he doesn't play the whole game, Jerome Ford will not have a good game either.
Look, we'll wait and see. I'm really comfortable with Jerome Ford, and I kind of brought my piece on Devin Singletary on my high upside video. So I'm definitely going to check that out. That's why I think I'm going to go with Jerome Ford there.
Okay.
So hopefully that helps. And Mac, Nico Collins, or Christian Kirk there. I'm going Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I'll go Christian Kirk as well. Is Higgins droppable now? How long are we holding on for? Is he droppable?
I don't think he's droppable. I think he's somebody you hold on, probably not starting with confidence. Maybe he does come back, and maybe Higgins is, Browning's favorite target. We just don't know,
I think it depends on how big your league is. I would actually say in like an 8 or 10 man, probably. I don't know when Higgins is back. I'm not sure that they force him back now. I'm not sure what this team's motives will be. But I will say in Dynasty, I think he's one of my favorite wide receiver buys right now. Guy who's set to be a free agent. I think with Joe Burrow actually going down, they actually could move on from him now. I think they actually could. And that excites me about where he could potentially end up. So maybe he ends up in Houston. Who knows? But there's not a better wide receiver buy, in my opinion, than T. Higgins, because there's a lot of hate online right now for him for things that he can't control, like an injury.
Like an injury. Yeah.
We did get a couple super chats. Shout out to Zane. Thank you for your donation, man. We're going to answer the question. Okay, so he has an Eagles icon. Do we answer this question?
Absolutely not. Eagles, I'm okay. If it was a Cowboys fan, then you gotta walk.
Jokes. Thank you for your donation. Lost Burrow, got Purdy for Addison. Did I overpay? I
actually don't think so. I don't think he overpaid.
In a one quarterback, though, you don't think?
I don't think so. I don't think Addison is as, depending on your league format, I don't believe Addison in the one quarterback league is as valuable than Brock Purdy if he lost Joe Burrow.
If this is a 12-man, 3 wide receivers, multiple flex, give me Addison.
100%. I would agree.
If this is a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league, then I'm fine with it. But hopefully he wasn't someone you were heavily relying on.
Exactly. And I think that is my thought process. So I'm really happy with Purdy for Addison, depending on your league settings there. Thank you for the super chat, though, Zane. We appreciate you. Cameron, thank you for the super chat. He said flex 1, Brian Robinson, Kirk, or Nico. Is it Brian Robinson? Or no, Bijan's on a bye.
People would say Bijan. It's B-Rob.
Yeah. Brian Robinson, Christian Kirk or Nico.
This is
running
Brian
backs.
Robinson for me, man. I mean, with no Antonio Gibson, he's doubtful, which to me says you're out. I don't know, like, why is doubtful an option? It's like,
Well, he's doubtful.
you're out. If you're doubtful, no, you're
Maybe
actually
something
out.
changes.
So
you never know.
yeah, maybe he finds a magic
I mean,
potion overnight.
a healing from the Lord.
Yes, I'm gonna go Brian Robinson here. The only reason you're worried about Brian Robinson in this matchup is if the only reason you're ever worried about starting Brian Robinson is if the Commanders are down in the game and they have to come back from behind and Gibson becomes the receiving threat. But he won't play, and you're playing the Giants, so Brian Robinson's a very safe play this week.
I would go Christian Kirk here. I think Brian. I do agree. He's a high upside play. I just like the matchup with Christian Kirk. A good bounce back game, and I think he can see a lot of targets coming into this week.
Sure.
So hopefully that helps. Cameron, appreciate you. Chris Cross, we did get another one from Chris Cross. Thank you so much. He says contacts too early. I'm 9-1 PPR, 4 wide receiver leagues, and JT and Allen as
JJ
my main wide receivers. Yeah. JJ and Allen, sorry, and my main wide receivers. So would you do Chase, Olave for Smith, Kirk, or ride or die?
For me, my answer doesn't change because it's not like you're getting a 3 for 2 or anything. I still want the most valuable player in the deal, and to me, that's Olave. So yeah, to me, my answer doesn't change. It would change if it was like you're getting 4 players for 2 or something, and it's that deep of a league for wide receivers. But to me, it's still 2 wide receivers that you can start or not start. So I'm still going Olave Chase personally.
Yeah, I'm still happy. I mean, I said Smith and Kirk, so it just depends on how you value these guys, in their situation. So, my answer doesn't change either, even with the context. But thank you so much, Chris Cross. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for the donation, man. Patrick Mahomes is the next one in order here.
Yeah.
It says, can Lamar still be a top fantasy quarterback rest of the season? Yeah. I mean, the dude can run for 100 yards in any given game. He can rush for 3 touchdowns in any given game. Absolutely. But I think his inconsistencies are going to be magnified now without a guy like Mark Andrews, without his safety blanket. So, yeah, he absolutely can. But he was already this, not boom bust, but, you were either really happy or really frustrated, So, yeah, maybe you could call it boom bust for the quarterback spot. But
I think, I don't. I think he would have had an even bigger game if that touchdown didn't get called back. He hit 27 points this week. I know Mark Andrews is not there anymore.
Well, to be fair, like the next play was supposed to be an interception, and it was caught by Nelson Aguilar for a touchdown. So it did, the touchdown did get taken away, but I feel like it was made up for. But
sure. But I guess my thought process was like he could have had an even bigger game if it wasn't taken back. Whether the other touchdown was nearly intercepted or not.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying? But yeah, I get what you're saying as well. Tom, start one in a flex. Dell, Moore, Devon, or Kirk. For me, this will be A-Chain and DJ Moore now with Justin Fields back. A Chan.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision. Dell and DJ Moore are closer. Like, A-Chan's in. Honestly, though, Dell, Kirk, and Moore are all very close. In fact, I'm looking at my rankings right now. We've got my wide receivers 17, 18, and 20 on the week. So while I'm telling you to start one of these guys, I don't have confidence in that being the right answer. It's not like there's like a huge difference in tiers or how I would project their fantasy points being this week. But I'm with you. It would be DJ and A-Chan, but any one of those wide receivers could go off.
Yeah, completely agree. Connor, pick one. Hopkins, Thielen, Collins. Wow.
Thielen
I think
for
this one's a little bit more difficult.
I definitely understand. I'll just advocate for Thielen real quick. I mean, Frank Reich is taking back over the play calling. They were like, sorry, Frank, our offense is so bad, we got to let someone else call the plays. And then they're like, oh, wow. Actually, it could get worse than what we were. So, Frank, can you take back over the play calling? And what we know when Frank was calling the plays is that Adam Thielen was a fantasy superstar and being targeted more than any other wide receiver in the league, not named Puka Nacua at that time. The matchup is awful. But how
That's my concern.
here's what I'm thinking with Adam
That's my
Thielen.
concern.
You don't expect points to come when the game is in contention. But in the second half, when the score is 35-3, that's when all the garbage time, you're going to get that sweet, delicious garbage that piles up to like 20 PPR points, right? Oh, the second defense on the field. Why would we sit Bryce Young? We need him to get experience in a game like this. There's Adam Thielen. Shell prevent coverage. There's Adam Thielen. There's Adam Thielen. There's a touchdown for Adam Thielen. You know, so it would be Thielen for me. Not ideal. And then my second option would be Detroit. But it's very close between those two options.
Yeah, I'll keep mine short here. I want to start Thielen because of his consistency and everything that you said with Frank Wright. I just feel like Dallas is just going to do everything to not give Bryce Young time, and I feel like that's where Nico Collins becomes more of a safety blanket rather than Adam Thielen, which sounds crazy. I just think Bryce Young is going to get bullied, and the only true weapon, if you think about on this team at the moment, is Adam Thielen. And I just picture, Dan Quinn honing in on Adam Thielen. But maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm giga-bringing it. Maybe I'm giga-bringing it.
There's two segments of the game. The game where Adam Thielen is not available because they're actually trying, and the part where they just prevent. They play prevent defense, and Adam Thielen dominates. So,
Connor, my rankings say Adam Thielen, but my heart doesn't. So that's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you for the donation. Optimum, appreciate you, man. Quarterback is Hurts. Running back is Eckler, Hall, Javonte Warren. Wide receivers, AJ Brown, Ayuk, Pittman, Tank Dell. Tight ends, Kincaid, McBride. What trades would you make for the playoffs?
This is a good team.
This is like a superstar squad. How are we supposed to?
Let me tell you something. This is a great team.
What you could do is use one of those tight ends because you don't need to start both of those tight ends. However, you do not trade one of these tight ends to a competing team that you're going to face in the playoffs. You trade one of these tight ends to the teams that's 3-7, 4-6. They desperately need a win this week. A guy that you're like, you're probably not going to make the playoffs. You make a trade with them. Maybe package Kincaid or McBride at this point. Package them with a Pittman and go out and get an elite guy, a top tier guy. Package him with an Ayuk and go out and get a Amon-Ra St. Brown, for example. So that's the kind of moves I would be making personally. But your running back room is already stacked.
Yeah, it's stacked. So hopefully that helps. Sorry if that was short and sweet, but that's honest. It's
a pretty good team. Not much.
Pretty good team, bro.
By the way, we are just 28 likes away. All right, someone's about to get put in timeout. If you guys are spamming the chat, you can see what will happen. You'll be put in timeout. That does not get your question answered any earlier. In fact, it gets your question not answered at all. No one is more important than anyone else, guys. Keep that in mind. We're going from top to bottom unless super chats are answered. I hope people appreciate that. But do us a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. We are getting close to the 100 like mark. And by the way, we are also close to the 12,500 subscriber mark. Just 6 subscribers away from reaching that halfway point to 15K, if you will, from when we hit 10K. The next question in order, though, is from Brandon. Keep in mind, guys, Brandon, we're getting to his question now. It might not have been as quick as we could have, but because it's in order, we're trying to treat everyone equally, right? Brandon, thank you for the donation. Hey, guys, huge fan. Thank you for all you do. Need some advice. Can only pick 2 for the flex. It's full PPR. We've got Aaron Jones, Tank Dell, Deebo Samuel. That's a tough one. That is a very, very difficult question. I would go the 2 wide receivers in a full PPR. Exactly right. You agree?
I agree. You just can't trust Aaron Jones personally, in my opinion.
I do like Aaron Jones this week, but I think he's the riskier play of those 3 names.
Yeah, exactly. Riskier play. I would rather go the wide receivers there.
Oh, we did get a super chat, so let's make sure we get to that straight away. My bad, Alan. Alan, thank you for your donation. He says, Deonta Foreman, Royce Freeman, Rico Dowdle, Kenneth Gainwell.
Royce.
You are digging deep into your bag here, my guy. I don't think Rico's playing.
Rico's questionable. I'm not sure if from what I heard late of last, that he was questionable. Not like,
yeah.
I don't know if he's trending in the right direction or in the wrong direction.
I think
but I know he.
Rico is the answer if he didn't just get downgraded late in the week. I'll be honest. There's not really a answer here I like.
This is okay. Yeah.
I'll probably go Royce Freeman because he has as much ownership to the backfield as Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was going to go. I was going to go Royce Freeman. Great opportunity here. Seattle defense against the run does give it the third most points to the running back position. And like Zach said, should be a 50-50 type of backfield. One of these guys, or either both of these guys, are going to find the end zone of Royce Freeman or Darrell Henderson. So I'll be going Royce.
Man, I wish Kyren was playing in this game.
Yeah, and you have one more week with Royce Freeman, and hopefully you have Kyren. So hopefully that helps. Thank you so much, Alan.
Shane, Purple Yoda was the next one in order. Purple Yoda says, "What's up, fellas? Thoughts on if you had Kyler, Dobbs, or Goff? Who would you start?" Yeah, that's tough. It would be Kyler for me. Release my video this week. 10 guys I think will dominate. Kyler's on that list. I'm projecting him. And keep in mind, it's a spicy hot take for a reason. But I am projecting him to be a top 5 quarterback this week. I love the matchup. I don't see a scenario in which the Cardinals are able to stop the Houston Texans offense, which means Kyler is consistently going to be needing to throw. And I think he's going to have a huge week. I mean, last week, he was inches away from 3 touchdown game. So, yeah, it would be Kyler for me.
For me, it'd be Jared Goff.
Okay.
Still, I get Kyler. Completely understand. I know Jared Goff is playing the Bears, excuse me. But one interesting stat that I found is that the Bears give up the least amount of yardage per carry to the running back position. Now, does that really matter when they're playing David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs? Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like the Philadelphia Eagles running the ball. The matchup, it doesn't really matter when the offensive line's that good and there's talented backs, but
yeah,
I've heard that one too. I thought that was interesting.
And I just think that if the Bears are true to that in any way, shape, or form, Jared Goff is going to throw the ball, and I think he's going to throw the ball regardless. So I'll go Jared Goff here, but Kyler is a great start as well.
I think so too. The only thing I'll just say in defense of Kyler, if the Cardinals are scoring touchdowns, it's probably Kyler Murray. If the Lions are scoring touchdowns, I feel like it could be Gibbs and Monty dominating. You know, that's my only concern.
Yeah, I completely see that narrative as well.
We did get a super chat from Sean. Thank you for your donation, man. You guys have been very kind with the donations today. He says Fields or Kyler this week. I'm going Kyler. Just talked about how much I love Kyler this week. My hot take, he'll finish top 5 at the position. Over 25 PPR points is my hot take in a 6-point passing touchdown format. Love the matchup. Highest over under the week. Terrible defense with the Arizona Cardinals and great offense they're facing. This could be a shootout. I want as many pieces in this matchup as I possibly can get my hands on. That includes the wide receivers. That includes the tight ends. That includes the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'll rock with Kyler as well in this one. Big week for both of these guys, which is really exciting. So
I think you're right. All right. Next question in order is from Jimmy T. Shout out to Jimmy, Mr. Beast.
Come on, Jimmy.
Says start 1 between Singletary, Hunt, Ridley, JSN. This is Singletary for me. I personally love the matchup. I mean, I think this, again, highest over under the week. I think the most fantasy points of any game probably come from this game, in my personal opinion. And I think there's a good chance Devin Singletary, after dominating last week, they might have found their answer, and it's a great matchup. So I'll go Devin Singletary.
Yeah, I would agree there as well. I would say this, Jimmy. If Tyler Lockett somehow is ruled out, I would be going JSN. That's a divisional game against the Rams. Matthew Stafford's back. So hopefully you have a report before the early slate kickoffs that Tyler Lockett is going to play or not. So then you can either make an easier decision, in my opinion, which would be JSN.
Okay. Goff for Kyler, we just answered that one earlier, so hopefully that's helpful,
Yep.
Ruben. I'm going Kyler. Badaki is going Goff. Ashan says start 1 and flex 1, Javonte, Devin Singletary, and Jordan Addison. It'd be the 2 running backs for me. I don't really want a wide receiver against that Broncos secondary.
Completely agree.
Yes, Messay says, would you trade JT and Chris Godwin for Amon-Ra and Aaron Jones? Yes, I would, because
I would as
I feel
well.
good about starting Amon-Ra and Aaron Jones, even though Jones has been inconsistent. He's been injured. But I don't know when I feel good about starting Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Dak or Justin Fields this week? I'm assuming that's Dak Prescott. And I think you ride the hot hand of Dak Prescott, personally.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, I've played out scenarios in my head last week against your Giants where I thought maybe Dak isn't good this week because they don't need him. The thing is, they did not need Dak Prescott, and it did not matter. They were throwing touchdowns up by like 35 points, and they're like, let's keep throwing the ball.
Let's keep going, man.
Andrew Case,
I'm believing for the upset. Sorry,
it's not happening.
Come on, baby.
If Madison is playing, should I start Ty Chandler, Khalil Herbert, or Deonta Foreman? This is Ty Chandler for me regardless, just because I don't like the matchup for those Bears running backs. The Lions is not a good matchup. Meanwhile, Ty Chandler has a fantastic matchup. And I don't think Madison plays. But even if he does, I don't think he's going to dominate that backfield.
I would agree. I'm going Ty Chandler as well. High upside play coming into this week for me as well. Big Breakfast. What up, boys? Would you trade Burrow and Higgins for Dak and Waddle on a Devy contender? Also, I was thinking of sending my Lamb for Chase straight up to contender in a league I'm retooling with Joey B.
So let's answer the last one there. I would definitely be comfortable sending Lamb for Chase straight up. I have no concerns about Chase's. He's my wide receiver 1 in Dynasty at this point in the season. I know he's yours. I don't have any concerns about Chase's long-term outlook in a Dynasty league or a Devy league. So we both agree there, I assume.
Yes, I would agree there.
The first one, I really don't like the move. I'll be honest with you. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Because Devy is just essentially
Devy's similar to Dynasty. It's just you get those college players earlier, and the draft picks are essentially players instead of
exactly. So and that's why I just wanted to clarify before I gave my answer, and that's an absolute no. Yeah. I'm still keeping Joe Burrows and T. Higgins, Dak Prescott. He's riding the hot hand right now, and you are a contender. Or you said for Dak Prescott on a Devy contender.
I think what I would rather do is like go find. Like there's a tier of players you can go find instead, like a Josh Dobbs, for an affordable price.
If not,
Geno Smith, a Russell Wilson, a Jordan Love. Like I'm trying to find cheap options.
I would even say like he can pivot to a team that's maybe not contending. So like, would you do Joe Burrow and Higgins for like a CJ Stroud and a Waddle or a Chris Olave? Like I'm happy to do that if I'm contending, believing to win, right? I think those are certain areas that you can pivot to. Maybe a team that's knowing that he's not going to make the playoffs. He has one of these quarterbacks. Maybe he has a Justin Herbert. Maybe he has a CJ Stroud, a Tua. You can pivot to those guys rather than pivoting to Dak Prescott, who is going to be hurting you in the long term in a Devy perspective or the dynasty perspective, rather than you trading away Joe Burrow, who is injured just for this year now. And I know you're contending, so that's what I would do.
I definitely hear you. That's an option. I think my preferred option is just buying on, like, not including Burrow in a trade, and on the very, very cheap, trying to get a Dobbs, trying to get a Russell Wilson, a Derek Carr, a Jordan Love, a Geno Smith, a Matthew Stafford, Kenny Pickett, or not Kenny Pickett, sorry, throw him out. A Josh Dobbs, a Gardner Minshew. Like, I feel like you're trying to send like a really cheap deal to band-aid the situation instead of giving up one of the best assets in Devy completely.
Yeah.
So hopefully that is helpful. The next question is from Lombardo. Thank you for the question. He says, should I sit Metcalf for Kincaid? Yeah, I would. Also sit White for Connor. I would play Connor over White this week with the matchup.
Would you sit actually, yeah, I would. I was gonna say, would you sit Metcalf for if Tyler Lockett doesn't play? But I think I would.
Yeah, I think
I would. Yeah.
Just one offense that is built around this player and the other that is technically, but it's just not clicking.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I would agree. So I would do Kincaid. And who'd you said? I would sit White this week.
Yes.
For Connor.
Yeah, we're on the same page there. By the way, guys, only 15 likes away from 100. There's 120 of you watching, which is awesome. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Do me a massive favor. Go ahead and hit that like button to show some love. Let's get up to that 100 like mark. And let's get to that next question, Badaki. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said pick 2, Nico, Sutton, or Singletary for Jonathan here. For me, this would be Nico. And honestly, I think this might be Courtland Sutton for me. Playing against the Vikings, he's clearly Russell Wilson's favorite target. I'm going Courtland here. I'm not sure where Zach would go. But he has scored a touchdown. I mean, I think we keep saying this, and it keeps just getting bigger and bigger. A touchdown in what? I think he scored a touchdown in 8 out of his last 10 games. Yeah, I think that continues there. So I'll go Nico and Courtland.
Yeah, it's funny because I made a video this week talking about Courtland Sutton and how he's a great play, and someone commented and said I lost all my credibility because I told someone to start Courtland Sutton in a video. Like, have you even watched Courtland Sutton this year?
That's somebody that's not watching football. That's somebody that just comes into the video and be like, Courtland Sutton? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Not realizing
doesn't have him on his team. Doesn't look at the entire league. Sutton.
Does he lead the league in touchdowns right now?
I think he's tied for second. Yeah.
Okay.
He's tied for second in the league in touchdowns, which is like, it's hilarious because the only time you would have not wanted to start Courtland Sutton, like 1 out of his 9 games this year, you wouldn't have wanted to start him. So I just found that hilarious. And it just shows the disrespect on Courtland Sutton's name. I do want to start Sutton. What I'm struggling between, man, you can't sit Nico, can you?
No.
Yes, we're gonna go Nico and Sutton. But I really want to start Devin Singletary. That's why this question is so difficult. Geno or T-Law, really don't like either of these options, but it would be Trevor Lawrence for me versus the Tennessee Titans if I had to choose.
I'm going. Gosh, I feel like Geno's the better one.
I mean, Geno's been just as bad. And his favorite target might not even play. Tyler Lockett's been his favorite target, if we're honest.
Yeah, for real. I don't like either of these, but I'll go Trevor Lawrence based off the matchup. They give up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Andrea says, hi, everyone. Need two. Mostert, Pacheco, Javonte, James, Ty, Chandler. This one for me would be James Conner, and I think it's Javonte.
Yeah, same for me. Same for me. I'm with you there.
Yeah, it would be Javonte for me there. Rodney, Ty Chandler or Royce Freeman. This will be Ty Chandler for me.
Same. I am starting him against you, actually, in our home league, our one quarterback home league.
I really hope he does terrible then. As much as I want you guys to have Ty Chandler do great, for my matchup selfishly, he's gonna do shit. So yeah, I'm believing.
15 carries on 44% of the snaps last week versus the New Orleans Saints, which is a very good run defense.
Playing against the Denver Broncos. Gives up the most points to the running back position.
Yeah, it's so strange because the Broncos, they've gone like a roller coaster this year. But what you've always been able to do is run on them. That's what you've always been able to do. So I'm hoping it's a big week for Ty Chan. Troy, what's up, man? Troy Bolton in the building says, "What do you think about Justin Herbert going forward?" I'm still a fan of Justin Herbert. I mean, it's funny because in some leagues I have Justin Herbert, and people were sending me trades for him saying, "You probably want to trade him away because he doesn't have Josh Palmer anymore." I'm like, then why would you want to buy him? Like. The number one way for me not to negotiate in a trade is for you to tell me I should trade away a player that you're trying to get. And then he puts up 37 points after the week that happened. Keenan Allen is still healthy. I still view him as a top 5 to 7 option rest of the year. But I would be willing to pivot. Like if I can pivot to a Kyler and get some value, a Tua and get some value, I would do it. So, a couple things to consider, but still have utmost confidence in him.
Hefe said I'm still torn between Saquon and Singletary. I also have Rachaad White, CMC. Rachaad White, CMC is my RB1. I mean, I'm personally still starting Saquon over Singletary, if that's what you were asking. Now I am starting CMC. Now, if you ask me, should I start Rachaad White or Saquon Barkley? I think that's a tougher one because Rachaad White does have a tough matchup, has been a lot more consistent than Saquon. But I'm still going Saquon here.
So if the question is Singletary or Saquon, I'm going Devin Singletary.
Okay.
And I could be wrong, but I'm not really that worried about it. I just think this is a much better offense. And if anyone's going to have more opportunities to score a touchdown, I feel like that's Devin Singletary versus the Cardinals rather than Tommy DeVito-led Giants, And Tommy will get better. He'll probably be much better against this defense. But
I don't need him to be that good. He still needs to lose.
We'll see. I actually want you guys to beat us this week.
No.
But I would go Singletary over Saquon, but if the option is Rachaad White as well, I would go Rachaad White over both. But it's very close, and they're only spots difference in my rankings.
No worries.
Blue Knockout Pearson says, need one running back to start, Dowdle, Sharbs, or McLaughlin. And we're reaching deep into the bag here.
We are reaching
for
deep.
This
I
one.
think if Dowdle plays, I'm happy to start him. But like all these guys, I'm not expecting high upside whatsoever coming into this week. Unless, this trend that we've been seeing from Zach Charbonnet continues. Maybe that's exactly who I would lean, actually. How are the Rams against the run?
The Rams are pretty good against the run. It would be
Rams
Dowdle
are
for
pretty
me
good
if he plays. If not, Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, I would go Dowdle as well, but
Just thinking of the chances that Tony Pollard is taken out of this game feel high to me. So and not because he's bad, but because they're dominating.
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm just laughing because I'm just thinking about last week. It was just like the chances Dak's gonna get taken out the game because Tony Pollard got 50 touches. Absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, I had agreed with you. I was like, Tony Pollard's gonna go off. That just wasn't the case.
This is his last chance. The life alert button has been pushed. We need to see if anyone responds.
I've fallen and I can't get back up.
I have fallen and I can't get up. Now, what will the responders do? The first responders, will they be willing to save him? We'll find out. Shout out to Life Alert, official sponsor of the stream. Chuba says, have some players on bye and IR, need a desperation flex. Who would you start? Michael Wilson, Spears, or Herbert? This is Michael Wilson for me.
Yeah, Michael Wilson if he plays. I completely agree. Andrea, need one flex. Nico, Tank, Rice. Half PPR.
I gotta go Tank here. These are all guys I feel good about starting this week. I really love Rice this week as well, but I'll go Tank in that matchup.
I would agree as well. Okay, Rodney, Dustin, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith.
We have to answer Rodney's question.
So when I make the playoff with 2 and 8, oh, sorry, I thought he was just adding that comment to his thing.
No, I mean this is a very important question, and
Ronnie, let me shoot you straight, brother. You're not making the playoffs.
However, this is a good opportunity to tell people that you are still playing for something. Until even if so you fight until you're mathematically eliminated, and then when you're eliminated, how will your players remember you as the coach? How will the players remember you as an owner? You think next year when you draft a team, they're going to be excited to play for the guy who gave up, who didn't set his lineup, who didn't make trades, who didn't go through the waiver wire? Play for pride. Play for the passion of the game. Okay?
Thank you so much for your service. You're not making the playoffs.
Dustin says Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, Tank Dell, and Rashee Rice can Walker. I need 2 wide receivers and a flex.
Smith, Dell, Walker.
This is tough. This is very tough.
That's where I would go there. Smith, Dell, Walker.
Devontae Adams is definitely in play for me against Miami.
Am I?
So I'll go the first two, Adam Smith, and then I will go probably full PPR. I'll probably go Dell. It is
Okay.
close. Hope you are doing well. No worries, Big Breakfast.
No worries.
Hopefully we answered it well. Andre says Ferguson or Schultz this week.
Both are good.
Or Schultz.
Because Noah Brown is out. Schultz has been killing it though the last 3 games. Ferguson, excuse me.
This worries me though. The defense for the Arizona Cardinals. Actually, let me just say this in general. The only thing the Arizona Cardinals defense does well is stop tight ends. Literally, that's the only thing. In fact, they're one of the worst matchups. And I think that's because of the scheme that they run. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go Jake Ferguson.
That's just a good linebacker. I forgot. I think he's the white boy. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't remember his name. I just remember playing the Giants. He was playing the Giants, and he was everywhere. I just don't remember his name. Shout out to the white boy linebacker. You don't see that often.
But did you watch Shane Gillis the video Daniel Elioy put up? In the chat this week?
No, I haven't.
Dude,
I haven't looked at it.
It's hilarious. It is hilarious. Anyway, no time to talk about it right now. But I'm trying to find the this white linebacker you're talking about. What's his name?
I don't remember.
Anyway,
maybe he's not a linebacker. Maybe he's a pass rusher, edge rusher. Maybe I'm tripping.
Could be.
But he was dropping into coverage.
I'm not seeing many white kids on the defense.
I think he has long hair too. Long hair. Goldilocks.
I know. Is it Dennis Gardeck? Cameron Thomas must be it.
Maybe.
Anyway,
I don't remember.
Anyway, it really doesn't matter.
Jimmy T, Dotson or Watson.
We got a super chat. Let's get to the super chat first.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Jimmy.
Thank you for your donation. Garth Brooks' son. My dogs, Harris or Chandler, and Cooper or Rice. Harris being Najee, I assume.
Oh, okay, Najee.
I would go Ty Chandler.
Gosh, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I would go Ty Chandler as well based off the match. I think it's flipped on its head. You got the worst matchup for running backs. I think one of the worst matchups for the running back position, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Cleveland, and then one of the best for Ty Chandler and the Broncos.
Mm-hmm. And Cooper or Rice. I would go Rice this week. You can't trust DTR personally.
Yeah.
If PJ Walker named starter, I think Cooper feels a little bit safer. But give me Rice.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you there. I talked about Rice a little bit this week, and I think the matchup is just too good to ignore. And
apparently my mic. Sorry. Yeah. My mic.
Give me a second. There always seems to be some sort of like transmission issue. Can you talk?
Check. Hello,
Okay.
hello.
Let us know if that's better. Is his mic better?
Hello.
But,
yeah, I think it sounds better. I can hear it right now.
All right. So to answer the question, I do want Chandler and I do want Rashee Rice this week. I think Rice, if Rice is gonna have a blow up game, it's going to be this game.
It has to be this game.
In my opinion. If it's going to happen, it has to be this game with the matchup, with the way we anticipate the game playing out. So, yeah. Irvin, thank you for your donation. McBride over Laporta this week. Dude, there are a lot of leagues where I'm starting multiple tight ends because of a question like this. And I would still go Laporta, but
yeah,
McBride is my tight end 4. Or 5, sorry, and Laporta's my tight end 4 on the week, so they're both. How did the tight end position get so deep out of nowhere? Obviously, the rookie tight end class. The rookie tight end class is maybe the best we've seen in decades, so that has a part to play. It. But also Trey McBride, we've been talking about him, waiting for him to break out. He does it. Jake Ferguson, my taxi stash of the year a year ago, kind of breaks out. You know. It's all coming together. It's crazy.
It's all coming together. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna open the door for Blazy. Give me a sec.
But yeah, we'll go Laporta. but I would find a way to start both of those guys, Irvin. CG, thank you for your donation. It says, I'm in a 12-man dynasty. I have Goff offering the guy who lost Burrow T-Law. Would you take T-Law for Sharps or Spears? Both are $1 keepers. Okay. CG, I'm assuming this is not a super flex dynasty league. Can you confirm that? Because in Superflex, Trevor Lawrence would be worlds more valuable than those two names. 12-man dynasty. I have Goff offering the guy who lost Burrow. T-Law. I don't know, dude. Like, I get that it's dynasty. I just feel like Charbonnet is completely capped as a fantasy asset unless Ken Walker goes down. Like, Sharps is not going to just win the job outright with a healthy Ken Walker. That's what's annoying about that situation. And as far as Spears, look, maybe he gets the job next year, but also I wouldn't be surprised at all if they bring in someone through free agency or in the draft. I don't think Spears is like a lead the backfield type of guy. I don't know, dude. I just feel like the person who lost Burrow is probably desperate. I feel like you should be able to get more than this. That's just my opinion. Rock out. What's up, man? Thank you for your donation. One flex. Chandler, JSN, pick up Dotson, Rondell Moore, Jaden Reed. To me, this is Chandler, assuming Madison doesn't play. Now, if Madison plays and Tyler Lockett does not, I'll go JSN over Chandler. But assuming that Madison doesn't play, we'll go Chandler there. Thank you for your donations, guys. Keep in mind, if you do drop a donation, you will skip the queue. Next question orders from Jimmy. Dotson or Watson? I guess that's Christian Watson or Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, I'm going Dotson.
Yeah.
Hoping that he has a big game. I don't like either of these guys, but
I'm with you. It's not fun.
Julian, Jaden Reed or JSN? I will go JSN if Lockett doesn't play. Excuse me. I'm not sure if you guys have a halftime. No, it's a 1 p.m. slate game for the Packers. So hopefully keep your ear out. I will start JSN. If not, Jaden Reed is a high upside play I did bring this week, especially because the Chargers do give up a lot of points to the wide receiver position.
Yeah, I was just thinking this one through in my head. I would go Jaden Reed here. But like you mentioned, if Lockett's out, we'll go JSN. But assuming Lockett plays, I will go Jaden Reed. He's been pretty good, and now he gets an incredible matchup versus the Chargers. And he's kind of like annoyingly getting the manufactured touches that we want for a guy like Christian Watson. But we did get a couple super chats here, so we'll get to those straight away. Irvin says Hollywood, Terry, or McBride at flex at the full PPR. So that's the dilemma he's in. Honestly, I think I'm going McBride over all these options. Is that too much confidence? I don't know, but I think I'm going McBride over all those options. And I do expect Hollywood to be better.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm leaning here. I would be leaning Hollywood. I do expect a better game. Not saying I'm going to be expecting a bad game from McBride. I just feel more confident in Hollywood this week. He should, he'll find the end zone, and I think that makes a big difference there.
Yeah.
Precision building. I mean, if you need something happening there and you need it precise to the point, to the T, precision building. What's the number? Put it down in the chat.
You probably want some precision in any sort of building project you'll do.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
this is the guy to call. I believe so.
Let me give you some precision here. He said Chandler or Addison. He says huge decision. There's no precision in this one.
As in, you don't feel confident either way?
I don't feel confident either way. I would
agree.
say
it would be Chandler for me, but I don't feel good about it. If Madison plays, definitely Addison.
Yeah.
But if Madison doesn't play, I'll go Chandler.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I was going to go talk about Madison there. So
and by the way, like, it doesn't get talked about enough how much speed Ty Chandler has. We all talk about like Keaton Mitchell's speed, but no one talks about Ty Chandler's speed. The guy is blazing fast.
He's super fast. I need to look at
fire hot.
What was this 40 in?
I think it was like a 4.37.
You kidding?
I'm pretty sure. I remember him coming out of that class when we were talking about dynasty running backs. But anyway, thank you for the donations, guys. We appreciate y'all. Again, donations is an option if you want to skip the queue, but there's no obligation. The next question in order is from Harrison Cohen. He says, sit 2 full PPR, Eckler, Gibbs, Jacobs, Hall, and Achane. We're supposed to sit 2 of these guys.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Well, you don't sit Eckler. You don't sit Gibbs.
Yeah. I think that
you don't sit Jacobs, you don't sit All, and you don't sit Achane. But we have to choose 2 names.
Going based off of the teams that gets with the most points, that's what I would be going.
This would be, by the way, you have listed 5 running backs that are ranked in my top 12 this week. But I would sit Achane and Jacobs, but I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth.
For me, I would sit Jacob or Hall and Achane.
Hall? I think Hall's matchup is better than people are predicting. I mean, you can run easily on those Bills. Those Bills do not defend the run very well. They have like the top 5 yards per carry given to running backs.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, you are right about that. I think I was thinking more of based off the touches and the opportunity the Raiders going to get, but do they abandon the run game with how crazy this offense is going to be against the Dolphins?
They're not playing the Dolphins.
Josh Jacobs.
Okay, sorry.
That's what I mean. In that matchup.
I said I'm sitting Jacobs and Achane.
No, I know. I guess it made me think that like maybe the way the momentum they're going, they can run the ball really well right now with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
But the way Miami scores and how fast they can score, they might abandon it.
It could be a surprise bad game for Jacobs, but he is heavily involved in their game plan.
In the air.
Well, he's not been recently, but he was. I mean, the 1 week that Aiden O'Connell started his first ever game, he had 11 targets. But since that, it's been frustrating if you own Jacobs, outside of the fact that he's getting like 25 plus carries a game. Look, again, we're nitpicking here because these are all options that we would dream of starting in our leagues. But it would be sitting Jacobs and Achane for me.
Yeah, I would agree there. I'll go with Jacobs and Achane as well. Jeff, I have Puka at flex. Should I start White, Singletary, or Saquon instead? I'm okay to start Puka over those guys. Yeah. Bike Walker, how you doing, brother? You said Aaron Jones or Connor or Laporta for my flex. I would be going Sam Laporta.
Yeah, same.
Adam Dow, Rico or Spears? I'm going Rico.
Yeah.
Thinking of the matchup. But yes, I do have Dow higher in my rankings. Mag Gundy, 12-team Dynasty PPR. Sorry if I butchered that. Superflex, non-contender. Trade Lamar for Chase plus a mid to late first and second. Have T-Law and likely a top 3 rookie pick for a quarterback as well. I would rather keep Lamar Jackson. And if you have a top 3 pick, I would get those quarterbacks. A quarterback, or if honestly keep Lamar.
To me, I'll be honest with you, like we are on very different wavelengths here. It is 100% Chase in the first round pick for me.
Okay.
Mid to late first and second, so I get a first and second. It's a deep quarterback class. You already have a top 3 pick, so you're gonna get Caleb or Drake probably. I don't think there's outside of Marvin Harrison, there's not an ability for you to get a Chase in this class. Now, it's a very good class, so maybe I'm misspeaking there, but I just feel like Lamar and Chase are already so close in value to be able to get an extra first and second, and you already have all those quarterbacks set up. And by the way, it's a very deep quarterback class anyway. You might hit on a late first round quarterback in your rookie draft anyway. A Bo Nix, for example. Chase by far is the side for me.
I think I'm just thinking about Lamar, his upside, and what he can do on a week-to-week basis. Not saying Chase is not that. Chase. I think my concern will be is that late first. I get it. His quarterback class is deep. I guess I haven't done the research. I have been watching. You think of Bo Nix. You think of Michael Penix. are those guys going to be mid to late first, or we're going to be going in a different direction? I think since you already have a top 3 rookie pick, and you want to get a caliber player like a Jamar Chase, maybe that pick for you could be a Marvin Harrison. That's how I'm thinking about it. Like maybe you have the first overall pick, and somebody out there needs a quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe you trade back. But there's so many different scenarios. Like we can go about this all day.
If we did a startup Superflex draft, how many picks are there between Lamar and Chase? There are probably people who still take Chase over Lamar.
Maybe.
If anything, they might be 1 or 2 spots difference in picks. To me, I feel like you're getting an incredible value.
Sure. Hopefully that helps. Thank you so much. We did get a super chat, if I'm not mistaken.
Lucius.
From Lucius. He said trade.
What movie is that? Lucius, is that is that the Mission Impossible ones?
Lucius. I don't know. I went to school with a guy named Lucius.
No, that's
so
Luther. Who's the famous Lucius in like these spy movies?
I don't know. I just went to a movie I went to school with a guy named Lucius, so I am not picking up on the movies.
Morgan Freeman in The Dark Knight is Lucius Fox. That's where I got that.
He said
it's an honor to meet you, Morgan.
Morgan, thank you so much. Trade Chase for Pittman and Kincaid.
Oh yeah, in redraft, easily.
Yeah, my Titans are bad. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that as well after the Joe Burrow injury.
Yeah, in redraft, that is an easy, huge win for you.
John D, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. We appreciate you showing a lot of love with the super chat here, guys. If you want to skip the line, as you can see, there's so many questions. All you have to do is drop a super chat. You don't have to, because we're going in order. But John D, skipping the line here, he said full PPR, Cooper or Godwin. Let's start there. Gosh.
I think if anyone that you ask this question to, John, I'll be honest, if they're telling you they have confidence in their decision, I just think they're lying straight to your face.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say for me, the answer is Amari Cooper. I think it's a good matchup. Both of these guys have technically good matchups, but I think San Francisco is a more difficult matchup than their numbers currently lead you to believe. I think they fixed a lot of their issues, and I think their pressure is just on a different level. As for Amari, at least we get a full week of practice with Dorian Thompson being the guy. And he is like the dude on his team. If anyone's going to succeed through the air, it's Amari Cooper. Whereas in Tampa, that's just not the case for Godwin. So it's Amari, but I don't have much confidence.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I know it means nothing, but he was targeted. He only caught 1 out of the 6 targets against Baltimore. That was already a tough matchup. This is a much easier matchup here for him coming into this week for Amari Cooper, so keep that in mind as well. His second part of this question says, pick one, Gabe Davis, Michael Wilson, or Jerry Jeudy. I think if Michael Wilson plays, I'm starting Michael Wilson with confidence.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, Gabe Davis is always a mindset play. What kind of mindset are you approaching this week with? Do you have the
I don't think I can approach it regardless.
Do you have the balls to say, okay, well, if he goes off, I want him in my lineup? Or do you just want to play it safe? Because the safe play is Michael Wilson. So that's how you have to play it. The safe play is
Michael Wilson. Based off this matchup, I am not starting Gabe Davis. I mean, the Jets are really good against the pass. And they're confident. They are really confident in their secondary, and they work from the top down. And Gabe Davis is either going to be covered by Sauce or DJ Reed, and them both have been playing phenomenal.
My God.
What happened?
Oh my God.
What happened?
Jordan Travis just broke his leg. Jordan Travis, quarterback for Florida State. Oh God. That's awful.
Did you see a video?
That's a rough injury. Yeah.
Let's see. I just got it on Twitter.
Oh no. Oh, that's bad. That's like Dak level bad. Oh jeez. Oh man.
Oh boy.
Oh jeez. Jordan Travis, get healthy, man. Why do I keep watching it? Oh gosh.
That shit's twisted, my boy.
Oh,
It's like
no. I feel so bad for him. Oh, they were 10-0. They were in the college football playoffs. Anyway, get healthy, Travis. That sucks. Great year for him too.
they were losing 13-0 to North Alabama.
They would have if he was healthy. I feel like they would have come back. They might still. I don't know what the score is right now.
Well, when this injury happened, they were losing.
Yeah. They're
What
already
happened
up.
there?
They're already
Oh, he
up.
just
They 24-13. Who's the backup? Tate Rodemaker.
Was he supposed to go into the draft this year? Jordan Travis?
Jordan
was he
would have.
next?
Yeah, Jordan would have. Yeah, he's already an older prospect.
Well, he
That's
broke his leg, which is not terrible. Well,
pretty
he
bad.
didn't tear. He could be. I mean, it depends on if there's tears.
I think you'd rather do a torn ACL than that kind of injury. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully he gets better. But Amari Cooper and Michael Wilson for us.
yes.
Thank you for
Hopefully
the
that
donation.
helps. We appreciate you.
Question and orders from Eric Reed. Need for Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and Trey McBride. Sitting
Okay,
Laporta, starting Laporta in his tight end spot.
Yeah,
Justin
well,
Jefferson isn't going to
Jefferson's
play.
not playing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's,
okay.
that already answers your question.
Exactly. I'm not sure what happened there. Thank you, Eric Harrison. Tank or Waddle?
It would be a Waddle for me.
Yeah, my rankings say Waddle as well, but he just hasn't been utilized the way that I was hoping. I feel like Tank has a higher upside, and honestly, I feel like I would say you can argue for a safer floor when he's healthy, and getting the ball, and it gives you even more of a reason to start him over Waddle this week based off Noah Brown. So I'll go Waddle though because my rankings say. Dom, you said start Amari Cooper or James Conner at the flex. It'll be James Conner for me.
Same, yeah.
Jimmy T, Ford or Laporta. I think we'll both say Laporta.
Yep.
Pick 3, Adam Thielen, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Nico Collins. For me, this would be
First
Adam Thielen, Mike Evans, and yeah, it would be first 3. You're right.
First 3 for me.
Jimbo, thanks for what you guys do. We appreciate you. Full PPR, please select 3. Debo, DJ Moore, Hollywood, and Ty. It'll be Debo, DJ Moore, and Hollywood for me.
Yeah, same.
Start Bryce or Aiden O'Connell. Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm just thinking about this.
I actually might go Aiden O'Connell here.
I'll go Bryce. Again, just thinking about garbage. I think there's a high percentage chance that Bryce gets to play against a second defense.
Booger Dog, Puka or Connor in the flex. We would go Puka without no question there.
Yeah.
Ray, he says Evans or Hollywood.
Gotta go Evans.
You gotta go Evans.
I think Hollywood has a better week, but gotta go Evans.
Drag Racing, full PPR league. Who would you start? Josh Dobbs or an Addison's stack, or Justin Fields and DJ Moore? What I would do is start Josh Dobbs and DJ Moore. But I think,
yeah, if I had to choose one of these stacks, it'd be Fields' DJ Moore stack.
yeah, if I had to choose a stack, but I think I would start Josh Dobbs this week and DJ Moore. The way Josh Dobbs been playing, I'm gonna ride that hot hand.
I'm actually, the more I think about it, I do want to start Fields over Dobbs. The more I think about it today, I mean, it's just I know how good it's been, but the matchup is just really not ideal. But again, if I'm just answering the question, it's the Fields Moore stack.
Okay.
Andrea says, need 2 flex, Achane, Ford, Lockett, Thielen. This would be Achane and Thielen for me.
Achane and Thielen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree there.
We just got a super chat from Jordan's house, so he's going to skip the line there. Thank you for your donation, man. Appreciate you. He says, just sent Connor and Warren for Herbert, White in a third, full PPR and Dynasty. Let's start that first one. Connor and Warren. I guess is that Khalil Herbert, Rashad White, and a third.
Isn't Connor one for Herbert?
I don't really like acquiring Khalil Herbert. I think Rashad White is a fine piece to acquire, but Rashad White's probably the most valuable piece in that first deal. Full PPR dynasty and Young for a 2024 and 25 projected early first, second, third.
I'm assuming for a 24 first and a 25 second projected early. Mahomes go for all the quarterbacks. I think when it comes down to that 24 first, I think I still would rather have Young unless you can guarantee me that is Caleb or Drake May. If it's not, I don't care how deep the class is. For me right now, without my scouting, I would still rather have Young. Maybe that's a different answer later on down the road. But I would rather have Young if it's not guaranteed the 101 or the 102.
I just need to know the. I need to know what those picks actually are. You know, so I don't know if Jordan is there. Can you what picks did you get for Bryce Young? What picks were those? Is that 24 first? Is it a 25 second? Let us know. If he's watching, hopefully he can see this. Someone said they can't hear us. I was listening to the stream earlier.
Yeah,
I can hear it.
I can hear it as well.
I'm not sure if they have it on mute, but Jordan, can you tell us quickly here? I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. Let us know if you can. We'll get back to it if we don't hear from you right away. But yeah, okay, maybe we'll get back to it. I'm not seeing any reply. Let me know if he replies. Hard to answer without knowing what those picks are. That could be a 24. Those could be 2 seconds. It would be like, oh, that's.
Yeah, if it's 2 seconds, I would say no. It's both
ideal.
seconds, and Mahomes and go from all the quarterbacks. No, we wouldn't do it for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I know Bryce Young is playing bad right now, but our expectations should be better. And I mean, someone asked us this question on our fantasy hotline, and Zach put up a really good tweet about it, kind of comparing Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence. And if you are panicking on Bryce Young right now, then you should have been panicking on Trevor Lawrence at that time. But now we view them completely differently. So
yeah, I think it's a good point. This is the tweet where I talked about Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence. Now, clearly, Trevor Lawrence hasn't become a fantasy superstar yet. Like, I think a lot of people expected him to take a huge leap, but he has done really well. Like, he's led his team. A lot of people are going to give all the credit to Travis Etienne as if Trevor Lawrence wasn't completely incompetent, people wouldn't just stop down the run. But Trevor Lawrence has taken a huge leap, but he was awful as a rookie. Like, he was truly awful. And people were calling him a bust already. After his first 8 games, you can see completion percentage under 60. Bryce is closer to 64%. Had a better touchdown to interception rating than Trevor Lawrence in his rookie year. Better adjusted yards per attempt. And they both had really, really bad wide receivers. So I just think this is just common now. It's like people give up way too early on quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, if you don't start your career that way, then you're just not good. And that's just not what we've seen from the greatest quarterbacks in history, you know? Pat Mahomes had an entire year to learn behind someone. Peyton Manning had maybe the worst rookie year of any quarterback we've ever seen. Trevor Lawrence's rookie year was statistically awful. But what was the situation around him, right? Trevor Lawrence had no wide receivers he could rely on. Marvin Jones was his best wide receiver. He had a head coach who was more concerned about getting twerked on at a Chili's than actually coaching his team. And he was trying to get some offensive line. Terrible organization. And Bryce Young right now is clearly like has the worst situation of any rookie quarterback by far. Things will get better. Bryce is not a bad quarterback. And, so that's just a little bit of background on what we were talking about there. I just feel like if someone was selling me Bryce Young for 2 seconds, I would take it in a heartbeat for the Bryce Young side. In a heartbeat, I would take it. I still think that Bryce is the thing is, what do you guys think CJ Stroud would look like in Carolina this year?
And I think that's a lot of misconception too, because coming in, I think myself and Zach, I think we both said, I think so many other fantasy creators said that on paper, the Panthers had the better team.
Yeah, they
That
did
is
look
not
better.
the case. That is
No.
not the case. They had, good pieces on the offensive line. They had good defensive pieces. On the Panthers as well. Yeah, you got a rookie in Jonathan Mingo. You got a veteran person in Adam Thielen. You had a running back they just signed for a 3-year contract. That was the better offense. They had the head coach that had brought and built other quarterbacks in the past.
Yeah,
The
it's
biggest
just
Ukadukes.
like in general, a general rule of thumb is I will never sell a first round pick while they're underperforming. It's just never something that I would do because I'm bound to, like, at this time next year you're not going to get 2 seconds for Bryce Young, the number 1 overall pick. You know, I like the first trade. I don't like the second trade, but hopefully you can appreciate the transparency. Well, we don't want to pile on, but I think honesty is important. Otherwise, there's no point to us.
Yeah, we appreciate you though. Thank you so much for the super chat there, Jordan. We did get a couple more super chats here. From Chris is the next one.
Mm-hmm.
He says panic mode, full PPR, start CJ or Dak. Let's start there, CJ or Dak Prescott here. I think both of these guys are hot hands. I don't think
I'm going
either
CJ
of these
this
guys.
week.
Yeah, I don't think either of these guys are bad starts. I would go CJ as well, just based off of I think they're going to score more in the air, and CJ is going to be needed, unlike Dak Prescott. But we said that last week. But anything can happen. Second part, pick 2. Connor, White, Chandler, Singletary, Pollard, Pacheco. Okay, I'm picking 2 out of those. I am starting James Conner and Tony Pollard. I'm not starting Pacheco. I know Singletary has a great matchup.
Yeah, I'm ruling out Pacheco. Pacheco and Chandler are ruled out. But between Connor, White, Singletary, and Pollard, I have no idea who's going to.
Yeah, all these guys have their
perform
ups
better.
and downs. 100%. All these guys have their ups and downs. Pollard, great talent, has been very inconsistent. White has been more consistent, tougher matchup. Singletary, inconsistent, just had a 30-plus touch game, playing against a great a defense that gives up a lot of points. I want James Conner and Pollard.
My rankings say James Conner and Pollard, but again, I could easily see Singletary being the most valuable running back of these names this week, or Rashad White. Hopefully that's helpful.
The second part of that question, by the way, it says Diggs, Puka, and McBride.
No,
my
he's
wide
just showing
receivers.
us his.
Okay.
Other starting
Sorry.
lineup. Yeah.
You're right. You are absolutely right. CJ, thank you so much for the super chat. Stroud or Golf, 12-man standard flex.
Must be super flexing. I will go Stroud this week.
Yeah, I'll go Stroud in that scenario as well. Brian, thank you so much for the super chat. Star 2, DJ Dell, Thielen, Rice, McBride. Wow.
I guess DJ Moore, right? Tank Dell, Thielen.
Yeah, DJ Moore. Yeah,
Sheesh.
Tank. I said this
That's
earlier.
not easy.
It's not easy. I said this earlier. My rankings say Thielen, but my heart is telling me to go somewhere else. To be completely honest with you, but I'll let you know what my rankings say, and this is probably going to be really difficult for you. But I will go Adam Thielen, and then next out of these guys, I would be going McBride. McBride is my highest out of Tank Dell and DJ Moore.
So
Now my heart is telling me to go McBride and DJ Moore.
yeah.
So hopefully
that's,
that helps, Brian.
That is an interesting dilemma to be facing. My rankings would actually tell me McBride and DJ Moore. So that's what I would be leaning. And it's funny because I've been advocating for Adam Thielen here.
Yeah.
But that's what my rankings are telling me. So that's what I would lean there with Justin Fields back. And I am concerned Fields coming back like his first week off a hand injury. But we did hear reports that he could have played last week.
Yeah.
They just held him out. So
It was
that's
just a shorter week, and I think if it was on any Sunday, he would have played that week, in my opinion. But yes,
Yeah.
we did hear those reports.
Yeah.
We did get one more from Jake Keita.
Thank you for the super chat.
Appreciate you. Just lost Burrow. Do I trade Keenan and Stafford for Lamar and Pittman? My other wide receivers are Rice, Pop, Thielen, and Ridley. My wide receiver rooms would be bad, and I think that is your answer. I would rather ride with Matthew
Yeah.
Stafford and keep Keenan Allen, who is clearly your wide receiver 1 here. So we would not do this trade, unfortunately.
It's definitely not ideal to have Stafford as your quarterback 1, but you cannot afford to lose Keenan Allen. And if you think about it, we talked about this earlier, but Lamar is not a bad play rest of the year without Mark Andrews, but he's already been boom bust. Now you add no Mark Andrews, I just feel like it doesn't help. It doesn't help. So, yeah, I think you got to stick with the wide receivers there. That is tough. It is a tough question. All right, guys, we're answering questions from top to bottom here. Go ahead and do us a favor. Hit that like button if you have yet to do so. Super chats do skip the line, so keep that in mind. Hussein Bruh says, I got offered Amari Cooper, Trey McBride,
And Raheem for Justin Fields, Keaton,
and Raheem for Justin Fields, Keaton, and Logan Thomas.
If this is a super flex, I'm interested because of Justin.
I feel like he would have said if it was.
If it's not, then
I'm keeping the Trey McBride and Raheem Mostert side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dustin, Devontae Adams, Smith, Tank Dell, Rice. I think we answered this.
I feel like we did, right?
I may have missed it. And I think
we did
Dustin.
already answer it.
I said Devonta Smith and Tank Dell and Kenneth Walker, and you said Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, and Tank Dell. Hopefully that helps Dustin. Attack of the Titans, 10-team, 2-quarterback league, 1-point tight end premium starting lineup here. Allen Stroud Cook, it looks like it's a super flex. Ford. AJ Brown. Okay, I want to flip JSN or Ayuk for a better tight end. Who should I target?
Who's this tight end right now? Pat Freiermuth.
Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, the issue is like you don't even have a. Ideally, you package your tight end with one of those wide receivers, but no one really wants Pat right now. And the other difficult part is like if you found. Here's what I've found, at least in my league. Unless there's someone in your league that has multiple tight ends that they feel confident in starting in, probably not trading for their tight end, right? Let's be honest. Like, no one is going to give you Trey McBride for JSN or Ayuk right now. That's just it's just not going to happen. No one's going to give you Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta, TJ Hawkinson, maybe even Jake Ferguson. I mean, how far down do you have to go until someone's like, all right, let's do it?
I feel like someone's always willing to trade Cole Kmet, though.
And I don't really want to buy Cole Kmet, personally.
Cole Kmet's a top 5 tight end. Justin Fields is coming back right now. Obviously, this tight end position is very up and down.
So JSN for Kmet?
I mean, with his starting lineup right here, you're telling me I have CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson coming back. And if he either trades Ayuk or JSN to that, I wouldn't do Ayuk. I would try JSN and Muth. Maybe you have somebody on your bench. You know, I'll do a 3-for-1 type thing and try Cole Kmet.
I would okay, that's a fine option. I would maybe go after Evan Ingram.
Yeah,
he's had a couple bad performances.
I was gonna say that's another name you can go for, but other than that, I don't think there's anyone else that somebody else is gonna want to trade.
You're only gonna be able to trade for like fringe starting tight ends like Logan Thomas, and that's not gonna help you at all. But also, let's see what Pat looks like. A Jeezy in the house says playing Herbert and Keenan, but considering playing Kyler, because I feel like Eckler could have a monster game limiting Herbert's ceiling, but Keenan should get his. I feel like you're galaxy branding it here, A Jeezy. Look, I would start Herbert, but I do love Kyler this week. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
Got that. Gustavo, maybe?
Yeah, Chris Godwin or Rice. I think we both go Rice there.
Yes.
NMB. Okay, there's a big one here. Fighting for playoff spot and worried about buy/bad matchup. Any trade suggestions? So also Deontay.
We say this pretty consistently. We don't do team reviews. That just takes way too long for us to actually give you a good team review. It takes a lot of time. It's just not something that we do in this format. We do it over on our Flock Fantasy site for people who support us. But we can't answer the question Deontay or Cook. I guess James Cook or Deontay Johnson.
I would be going James. Deontay going against the Browns, who give up, I think, the 4th least amount of points to the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
James Cook going against the Jets, who give up the 10th most points to the running back position. You can't throw on them, but you can run on them.
Yeah, I would go ahead and agree with you there as well.
Brian,
hopefully you appreciate that, and you guys can understand that we don't. It's just so many questions. We try to help as many people as we can, and team reviews. Yeah. For us to give you a good team review, it would probably take 15 minutes. That's just something we do in a different format.
Yeah. Brian, 2 flex, non-super flex. Douglas and Dottle for Ingram. I need a tight end. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, same. I mean,
I'm okay with that. I'm
surprised someone is interested in getting Douglas and Dottle for Ingram.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised the other side is like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Aquamarine, T. Higgins, or Tank Dell. I think we both go T. Higgins here, personally.
Yeah, I would still go T. Higgins. He's either going to re-sign this offseason and be connected to one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, or he's going to get the biggest contract of any wide receiver and be the number 1 target for someone.
Yeah, I agree. And that's my thought process. I think he walks. I don't know if they can pay Chase and whatever they want to do, in my opinion.
I think they definitely would have, but this Joe Burrow injury, I think, changes things for them. Yeah. I think they could potentially switch their entire tune this year and go for a wide receiver in the first round.
I mean, if you have the opportunity to be in the middle of the pack, like if Malik Neighbors is there and you're saying, well, exactly. Can I get Malik Neighbors and not T. Higgins? 100%.
Exactly.
Romeo.
Or they could replace him with Keon Coleman. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. No worries. Justin Fields and Tony Pollard for Saquon Barkley and Jordan Addison. I think if this is, it seems like it's, and Zach said it, if it's a super flex league, I'm okay to go Justin Fields. If not, I don't see the point of trading. I think you can get better opportunities, I think, maybe than Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
For Justin Fields and Tony Pollard. This is a tough one. I don't like either of it.
I'll take the Saquon side, and I don't really like Saquon the rest of the year.
Yeah, Lee. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, I need to start a tight end at a flex. Happy PR, McBride, Laporta, Deontay.
You're starting your tight end and you're flexing your tight end.
Yeah, exactly. You're starting both of them without a doubt. Next question here. Start 1 half PPR. Mari Cooper, Rachaad White, Cortland Sutton. I'm going Cortland.
Okay.
I'm going Cortland. Rashad, tough matchup. I don't know if I can trust it, but anything can happen.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. We've seen Rachaad White do well in tough matchups because of his involvement in the air. So I'm going to go Rachaad White there. Versus Atlanta, tough defense. He got almost 16 PPR points. He faced Tennessee last week, which is a tough defense, got almost 18 PPR points. So it's close. But I'll go Rachaad there.
I understand. Breece Hall, Tony Pollard in full. I think we both go Breece Hall this week.
I would definitely agree. I like Breece Hall. We did get a super chat from Filonini. Thank you for the donation, man. He says, yo, flex doing, 1, full PPR. Herbert, JSN, Watson, Curtis Samuel. Ideally, Lockett doesn't play and you start JSN.
Exactly.
I think either way, though, I'm going JSN.
How's Curtis going?
I mean, Curtis will play, but again, I said this in week 3. It remains true today. The biggest cock block in fantasy football right now, Curtis Samuel, continues to reign supreme.
I might rock with you there. Yeah, JSN out of all these guys. I just won't be surprised if Curtis just has his typical game this week against the Giants.
Yeah, he could.
The last time he played the Giants, that's kind of where he got hurt, he got dinged up a little bit, and he was a little bit limited, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll wait and see. Hopefully that helps, Filoni. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for the donation, man. The next question is from Cap for Life. Cap for Life says, gentlemen, 4-6, 2 games from playoffs, JSN or Henderson. I think, JSN becomes very playable if Lockett's not out there. So if there's no Lockett, JSN, what if Lockett plays? I think you go Henderson. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. Henderson, high upside play for me this week. Going against the Seahawks to give the 3rd most points to the running back position. Myth, full PPR, Michael Mayer or Freiermuth at tight end. Wow.
Yeah. Not ideal either way, I would say.
Bear had a little bit of a thing here, but
so the Raiders play the Chargers.
the Raiders play the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, my bad. And the Steelers play Cleveland, right?
The Steelers do play Cleveland.
That
so
is Cleveland is the worst matchup when you adjust for schedule for tight ends in fantasy. So
yeah,
we'll go ahead and rock with Michael Mayer there.
yeah, exactly. Beastman, start to Amari Cooper, Puka, or Kirk. Will be Puka and Kirk for the both of us, I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do I trade Mike Evans for Wilson? I think I'm keeping Mike Evans personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Tom, Evans, Moore, Dell, Achane, or Kirk, start two and a flex. It's Evans.
Oh God.
It's Evans for sure.
I'll say my piece: Evans, DJ Moore, and Devon Achane. I'm trying to have some fun, baby. But I've said this before on the stream. Tank Dell is a safer play. So if you want to play it safe, it's Evans, Moore, and Dell.
Yeah,
if you want to have some fun and get groovy with it, who says that? Even my parents would say that.
You want to get groovy with it?
Groovy with it, brother?
What the hell's wrong with you? It would be Evans, Moore, and Kirk for me.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps. Based off of what we spoke about earlier, high upside,
that might have
safe
like
play.
made him more confused than he actually entered the stream being.
Tom, do you need a high upside or safe play? If you're above 500, play an A-chain. Have some fun. If you need a win, I'm going Evans, Moore, and Christian Kirk. That's the best way I can.
Let's also say this: if there's a report that comes out about Achane that he's going to be limited, then I think you definitely pivot to a different option.
Which he's already limited in touches, by the way.
Yes, but I assume if he's limited, meaning he only gets like Keaton Mitchell touches instead of Devon Achane touches.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Mustang, man, I really need Fields to go off. My mind's telling me to play Purdy, but my heart is saying now roll with Fields. Brock Purdy is playing the Bucks. I personally go Brock.
BCB.
Yeah, BCB.
This is Justin Fields for me. I love Brock. I've been defending Brock all year, but it's Justin Fields for me. He's back. He's healthy. And I don't see a scenario where he doesn't need to constantly throw the ball. So.
Where are we? We don't do rate teams, Kobe fan. We appreciate you, but looking at it here, not a bad team, brother.
Yeah.
Not a bad
you're
team.
10-0, but again, just a heads up to anyone in the chat, we don't do team grades on the stream.
Out of curiosity,
we say that every stream, but
if you're 10-0, why would you want us to rate your team? You just want affirmation? Maybe that's
just
okay.
Want us to tell you that your squad is absolutely stacked because
that's okay, and if you want that, that's absolutely fine. But if it's not that, then what's the reason?
They just want some advice, bro. They just want some help. But he's 10-0. I mean, look, we love all of you. I'm sorry that you waited this long, but we say it every stream. We don't do team grades in this forum. Matthew says, I'm trading Dak and Breece Hall for Tua, Dotson, and Pollard. And 5 draft picks, mostly seconds. I don't know why you're doing this then. And thirds. I tried to counter to get Stevenson over Pollard. So this sounds like a dynasty question. I'm trading Dak and Breece Hall for Tua, Dotson, and Pollard, and 5 second-round picks is what it sounds like.
I would want. Sorry, this is what I was gonna say. I want Tua over Dak. I want Breece over Pollard. Dotson, I think he is worth hopefully a second. Hopefully something picks up, but 5 draft picks, mostly seconds.
To me, it's just. 5 second-round picks? No, give me a first.
Yeah.
I'm getting 5 second-round picks? No. Give me 2 first-round picks.
I agree.
Matthew, think about this logistically. How many bench spots do you have? With those second-round picks, unless you have unlimited taxis. Look, I just feel like Breece Hall is not being properly valued here. I think the difference between Breece Hall and Pollard is way bigger than between Dak and Tua.
Yeah, and Pollard, in my opinion, is in question for the future.
I agree. I definitely would have to agree.
I've never been somebody that's big on Pollard, and I think if you can get a second for Pollard, that's a pretty big win. But it's hard to get that now based off his production. So
I just don't like. Yeah, five second round picks is just it's just like, why are we playing around? Give me 2 first round picks. What are we doing? Arjun is the next one. Thank you.
Sorry, Arjun. I was just making sure. If I clinch playoffs, should I do Chase and Ayuk for Bijan and DeAndre Smith? Is that DeAndre Smith? Devonta Smith? Sorry. Okay, let's start from the top. If I clinch playoffs, should I do Chase and Ayuk for Bijan and Devonta Smith, or Chase for Bijan? I don't know what to do, but I hear there's good playoff schedule. That's what I would say.
If I can swap Chase for Bijan, I would say absolutely, I would do that.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I would do there. Not something I'm happy to pivot off of Chase. Allen, it's a terrible running back pick for me this week. Full PPR. I think we answered this. We would go Royce, Demi, full PPR. Give Justin Herbert for Chase. My backup quarterback is Jordan Love. My receivers are
no.
Okay, yeah, no, thank you.
I mean, I like the idea of pivoting from Herbert to Chase in a 1 quarterback league, or sorry, 2 wide receiver, but not Chase right now.
Yeah, not Chase after those injuries. Mars, who do I start in the flex between Addison, Singletary, Lockett, or D Hop? If Lockett plays, I will be going Lockett. But if Lockett doesn't play, I would take the chance with Devin Singletary.
Yeah. I think regardless, this is Devin for me. And I definitely understand the Lockett stuff, but just the fact that he is questionable to play has given me enough concern to not play him. And the last time they played these guys, it was week 1, so it's hard. These teams have changed a lot. But the Rams completely shut down the Seahawks through the air, and they've been a pretty good secondary. Yeah. So I'll go Devin there, but I hear you.
GZ picked up Goddard. You think he'll be a factor in playoffs? I'm stashing him for now. And my starting tight end is Jason. Yeah, look, he's good to pick up to stash. Hopefully he will be back sooner rather than later during the playoffs, and you can start him with confidence. Excuse me. Yeah. Tom Henry. I made in 2, have Eckler and Pacheco, looking to start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex out of Evans, DJ Moore, Kirk, and Dell. Eckler and Pacheco looking to start 2 wide receivers in a flex.
First of all,
it's Evan.
We're starting Achane over Pacheco, right?
I think we answered this question. He asked us if it was Evans, DJ Moore, Kirk, Dell, or Achane.
Yeah, we're definitely starting Achane over Pacheco, right?
100%. So you should be starting Devon over Pacheco, and then you start the 3 players that, however way you want to go. It's either Evan, DJ. It was Evans, DJ, and Kirk for me, and I think it was
Evans, DJ, and Dell for me. Yeah,
exactly. So hopefully that helps.
You obviously, if you have a strong inkling on Pacheco, follow your gut. If you really feel that way, just keep in mind this is the worst matchup for fantasy running backs, the Eagles, that Pacheco's about to face. No team is really attacking the Eagles on the ground successfully right now. And the Chiefs are a very good, like, scheme it up type of team to attack someone's weaknesses after a bye week. So yeah, we could be wrong, but if it was us, we'd be starting Eckler and Achane, and then I would be playing Evans, DJ Moore, and Dell, and Badaki would swap Dell out for Kirk.
Yeah, agreed.
Pat Mahomes says, what 2 wide receivers would you keep rest of season? Definitely not Elijah Moore anymore.
Yeah. I think for me it would be JSN and Dobbs.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. HQ, would you drop Higgins to stash Shaq Moss? No. Optic Gaming, who would you have for playoffs? Puka, Ayuk, or Garrett Wilson in order?
Assuming Stafford is healthy, Puka's number 1 for me.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And then Ayuk and Garrett. Actually, I think we can put Garrett ahead of Ayuk now with the amount of targets he's seeing.
I would say, yeah, I'm okay with that. Since Daniel says, since NYS, what's that saying? I'm legally crazy and playing Rondell Moore this week. No idea. Are you
Since
crazy to play
NYS says I'm legally crazy, I'm playing Rondell Moore this week. What is NYS? Let
No
me try
idea.
and search this up.
Is that like a new slang or something?
What is NYS?
It's what the Gen Zs are saying.
Only thing that's coming up is New York State. Maybe he's in the New York State, you know.
Anyways, hopefully, I don't know. How we'll be live for the next 4 minutes here, top of the hour.
Yeah, let's extend it. I feel like the stream's doing well. Let's just go to the 15-minute mark. If you're down, 20 minutes.
Okay.
You down for 20 minutes from now?
Yeah. I gotta get some.
That
food
is
to
over
me.
what we normally do. So we're not asking you guys to say thank you. We're just saying keep in mind we're going longer today. So when the stream does end, we don't want anyone angry at us because we didn't get to the question. We're trying our best here.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go until 15 of the next hour, and then we'll go because
20 minutes.
Brother hungry.
Yeah.
Brother hungry. We did get a super chat, by the way. Big Bag Biz, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat.
I don't think we've seen a Big Bad Biz on the channel yet, so welcome.
Yeah, appreciate you. You said start Dak or Murray, flex Rice or Warren. Okay, start there, Dak or Murray. I just feel like Murray would be more, he would just be more involved in this offense, has a higher ceiling. So I'm going Murray.
I'm going Kyler as well. I just think there's a chance Dak is not necessary. I said that last week, but I do think there's a chance. And then between Rice and Warren, I would go Rice in that matchup versus Philly.
Yeah, completely agree. Thank you so much for the super chat.
By the way, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page because some people are like, why aren't you reading the comments? We're reading the comments. Just friendly reminder, scroll up. Just scroll up.
No, when they come in, some of you guys don't see all the comments that we have.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So when they come in, they only see a cap, and they'd be like, "Well, what questions the hell? What are they reading?"
Yeah. So just so we're all on the same page, we're answering questions from top to bottom in order. The only time someone skips that line is if they donate. Again, there's no obligation, but it is an option. Fields or Purdy? I'm going Fields. You're going Purdy, right?
Yeah, I'm going Purdy. I was just thinking. I think we just skipped a couple of questions. By the way, I don't know if you saw.
I don't think we did.
Jeff, Wiener.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead and go, Jeff.
Sorry. Should I start James Conner or Derrick Henry in full PPR? I will go James Conner. I'm worried about the game script for Henry. Yeah, I mean, I will go James Conner personally.
That's tough. That's tough. I'm going Derrick Henry there.
Okay.
I definitely understand the concern, but I'm going Derrick Henry.
Wiener. So what you guys recommend to do with Mixon and have Jacobs a chain? Do I try and sell high? You can try and sell high, maybe pivot to somebody that is gonna, I don't know, be a little bit more consistent without Joe Burrow or Joe Mixon.
Yeah, try and find a running back that is equal value before the Burrow deal and now after on a better offense, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you starting Tua or Kyler tomorrow? I think you got to start Tua.
Yeah, you gotta go Tua there. I'm going there.
I do love Kyler though. Optimal Gaming says
we answered his question in the super chat. Yeah. Speaker man, pick one. Spears, Hunt, Chuba. I'm going Kareem. Amari or Rashee Rice? I'll go Rashee Rice.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you go Richie Rich. You go Richie Rich.
I agree with you. That's my answer. I just think it's crazy. I think we are all insane. Tell me we're not in a simulation and someone's like, what happens to the fantasy community if Burrow goes down? Or if Watson goes down? Or if Rodgers goes down? Let's play a game. We're in the Hunger Games version of a simulation.
Yeah. It's wild.
Ethan, thank you for the donation, man. You're going to skip that line there. He says, Mostert, Tajay, Ty if Madison's out. This is Mostert regardless, I think. For me.
Yeah, this one's interesting. I will go Raheem as well. Yeah, I'll go Raheem. I'll go Raheem there as well. Thank you so much for the super chat, Ethan.
Is from Andreas in order. Need one flex. PPR, Mostert, Waddle, or Kincaid. Man, tough call there. I think it's between Waddle or Kincaid for me. And I think I'm just going to keep rocking with Kincaid, man.
Yeah, I'll second with you.
Yeah.
I'll second with you there.
Harrison is up here.
Yeah, start 2 full PPR, Eckler, Gibbs, Hall. I think we answered this question once before, and we had it sit too.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead to the next
so
one.
Hopefully that helps. HQ, someone dropped Goddard. I have Hawkinson and McBride. Should I pick him up and maybe drop McBride, or what would you guys think? No,
definitely.
I think if you have Hawkinson and McBride, just keep both those guys. I would say pick up Goddard. Maybe you have someone like, there's no point in picking him up in this position, like unless you have like a Ty Chandler or you have like a Tank Dell.
Unless you can keep him on your IR, there's no point.
Yeah, AC down battle wide receivers: Atwell, Wandell, or Elijah Moore.
You are down really bad. Be Wandell for me.
Yeah, give me Wandell as well. RV, I have Gus Edwards, Deontay Johnson. What good running back can I get? Look, we say this all the time. There's so many different opportunities. Send us a trade, and we can definitely have a conversation. But I can tell you to go Gus Edwards and Deontay, and no one would value the same way that we would.
Yeah, I mean, we could list off names for you, but it's going to be pointless. What matters more, and this is just an honest. We're taking time to explain it because we want you to understand. That we're not just being rude, but we could give you a list of 10 names. And then you go out and talk to those people, and they might have no interest. What's more important is you putting those players on the trade block, seeing what offers come in, and then coming to the stream, and then we can give you some feedback. But, I mean, for example, I can tell you to go target Rachaad White. It might not matter. I can tell you to go target DeAndre Swift and Josh Jacobs. It might not matter.
None of that matters.
So, those are some names. But, again, it probably doesn't matter. It matters what your league thinks of those players.
Mm-hmm.
Same to you, Jackson.
Yes. Yes. Appreciate you. We did get another super chat here from Clutch Box. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. By the way, if you guys want to skip the line, we're only going to be live for the next 13 minutes. If you want your questions answered before Sunday, all you have to do is drop a super chat. You don't have to, because we are going to go in order, but just know that we might not get to your question tonight. But Clutch Box did drop a super chat. It's the tight end premium, half premium, start one: Njoku, Dobbs, or Logan Thomas. That's a great question. I personally don't see that half point tight end premium being a big difference, in my opinion. I'm not sure if Zach sees that the same way.
No, not when you've got Dorian Thompson throwing you the ball.
Throwing you the ball. For me, this will be Romeo Dobbs. Doobs here, playing against the Chargers, who give up a lot of points to the wide receiver position. I don't know where he's at now according to targets. Most targeted in the end zone. I need to find that stat.
This would be Dobbs for me as well. Just purely thinking game script. I think the Chargers will be able to score, and Dobbs has been their best red zone threat. So yeah, it would be Romeo Dobbs in a good matchup for him.
Absolutely. Back to the top.
Yeah, back to the top. Go ahead.
Where are we here?
Speaker man.
I think we answered this. We said Hunt. Carson says, I need help. Pick 2. Kirk, Rice, Nico, Puka, be Puka, and Kirk for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. With you.
Shane said we skipped him. If we didn't, honestly, brother, we are so sorry.
I'm trying to go back and look.
I don't remember your question, Shane. If you do have a question, I feel like we answered this question. At least it's highlighted for me. I can see it here, or it's not highlighted, but it's pretty far back. It's like one of the top questions. It says, should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tank. It says, should I start Tank Dell or Brandon Ayuk? Well, I feel like we answered that question. I don't remember.
I think we did too. If we didn't, Brandon Ayuk and Javonte Williams.
Exactly. Sorry about that, Shane. If we missed your question, we appreciate you for hanging on here. JS rank for flex PPR: Ingram, Kincaid, JSN. It'll be Kincaid, JSN if Tyler Lockett doesn't play in Ingram, but it'll be Kincaid, Ingram, and JSN with Tyler Lockett.
Yep, agreed.
Uncle Ted, Michael Wilson, or Brandon Cooks. It'll be Michael Wilson for the both of us if he plays. I have a full PPR. Do I start Kenneth Walker or Pacheco? Will be Kenneth Walker for me.
Yeah.
And then he says thoughts on trading Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, we're always open to that. Put him on the block, see what offers come in,
Yeah.
and then come back and let us know.
Completely
Boosh TV says, should I trade Chase, Bijan, Taysom for Gibbs, Evans, Jake Ferguson?
Chase Bijan, Taysom, Gibbs,
Yes,
Evans.
I like this deal. It's not because I don't like Chase. It's I don't trust Browning. And you're
agreed.
getting Mike Evans there, so I'm fine with that deal.
Completely agree here.
Okay,
Jordan,
we answered this one in a super chat.
Terry, right, is the next one. Terry, Walker, Javonte, or Chandler if he has the backfield to himself. I'm still starting Walker if you had to choose one here.
Yeah, I agree. We did just get a super chat from Giannis Antetokounmpo, so he is skipping the line.
Antetokounmpo.
Thank you for your donation, man. He says, "Hey guys, non-PPR Reed or Singletary for me.
Singletary, non-PPR.
Brock or Goff? I'll probably go Goff.
This would be Goff for me, yes.
Very close though. Thank you for your donation, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you
Again,
so
guys,
much.
we'll be live for about the next 10 minutes, answering as many questions as we can in order. Super chats do skip the line, so just keep that in mind as we're getting to the end of the stream. Sam says, traded Mahomes and Pacheco for Bijan in a one quarterback league. I'm fine with that. If you have a good quarterback behind Mahomes. Is DJ Moore top 7? No, I'd say top 20 rest of the season, but I would more view him like top 15.
I don't know about top 7. I would say top 15, top 12. I actually still feel comfortable with if Justin Fields plays the whole season, rest of the season.
Yeah.
Freaking Moss Madison expected to play tomorrow per Ben Goozling. I don't even know who that is. Also, do I cut Zach Moss or Ty Chandler to activate a chain? For me, I would cut. Well, this is what I would say. If Madison, I'm a JT and Madison owner, so if I like the cuff going to the playoffs, I would say Zach Moss is more valuable if JT goes down because we've seen what he can do without Jonathan Taylor. I'm not sure if that, link is reliable or that Ben Goozling guy that you said, but for me, I would drop.
Vikings beat writer, works for the Star Tribune.
For me, it would be.
I don't see any. He says I expect him to play, so it's nothing from the team. It's just the beat writer saying he expects Madison to play, which maybe he does. We'll find out. But
I would say this:
we haven't heard anything from the team, just to be clear.
Yeah, if it is officially comes out that Madison does play, I'm happy to drop Ty, start Devon, and keep Moss because once again, what we've seen if JT does go down again. I
definitely hear you. I don't know though. I definitely agree. Like if JT were to go down and you drop Moss, you'd regret it huge time. But if JT and Madison stay healthy, I do think Chandler has a chance to take this job based off his performance recently. So just play it however you want to. If you need the safety of a handcuff or the upside of a stash, hopefully that makes sense. But if you're a Madison owner and you're relying on Madison, I think you got to keep Ty Chandler in case he flops.
Yeah, I completely understand that. We buy homes near you.
We got a super chat, so let's make sure we prioritize that.
I'm
sorry, Miguel's gonna skip the line here. Thank you for your donation. He says, "What's up, guys? Flex Nico or Hollywood this week?" Which is a very, very tough question to answer. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is one of the more difficult questions to answer.
This one.
Two teams facing each other. It's the same matchup. So either way you make this call, you could be upset because one of these guys could go off and the other could not. And looking at my rankings, I have one player, one spot ahead of the other. They're back to back. This would be Hollywood Brown for me.
That's right.
But it's close, and there's not a ton of confidence in that answer because they are back to back on my rankings. I don't have them worlds apart in my
Hollywood singing.
In my rankings. So
Hollywood. I want Hollywood too. Okay. I think you'll have a great game. Hopefully, I am believing. Back to we buy homes near you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Looking for a home actually myself. In the near future. What up, fellas? Unless you are in the Sydney area, maybe you have some connections. What's up, fellas? Start one at wide receiver and one at flex. Saquon, Kenneth Walker, Kirk, Dell Cousins, or Hollywood. 16 non-PPR. Appreciate you. 16, brother. You always come up with the difficult questions. I'll tell you. I
want to know what his record is in a 16 because, I mean, geez, 6 teams, man, that's tough.
Start one at wide receiver.
If you're going to stay in a 6-team league, you need to beg your commissioner to make the starting lineups huge next year. I'm saying like 3 starting running backs, 3 starting wide receivers, and like 4 flex spots. Otherwise, everyone's just a luck of the draw every week because everyone has superstar players. But let's try and answer the question as best as we can.
Wide receiver position, for me, it would be Hollywood Brown.
Okay. So that is tough for me because Tank Dell and Christian Kirk are ranked higher.
Okay. You have Kirk higher than Hollywood.
I do.
I have Kirk higher than Dell and Nico, but not higher than Hollywood.
This would be Dell at wide receiver for me, and at flex, hard to sit Ken Walker, but it's also hard to sit Hollywood and Kirk. Damn, dude. How do you answer this question? I guess I'm gonna go Kirk and Dell.
I'm gonna go Kirk and Hollywood. I feel like both of these guys have great safe floors, and that's exactly what you need. I think in a. Do you need that in a 6-man league? Are you hoping for a safe floor in a 6-man league? What are you hoping for?
You're hoping for upside. You're hoping every player goes off in that format, but.
Yeah,
best of luck, man. That's tough.
We appreciate you. A-Train, he says rushing yards needed, 1 running back between Devon, Hall, Etienne, then pick 1 at flex with touchdown upside.
Rushing yards needed. So I'll go Hall because of the matchup.
And then 1 flexible upside, I think that would be Etienne.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Jalen Hurts or Goff will be Jalen Hurts for the both of us.
By the way, we'll be live for the next 3 minutes. Super chats are an option. Otherwise, we're trying our best to get through these questions. Quickfire Tahoe says, should I start Godwin or Waddle? I'm going Waddle.
Yeah.
Laporta, McBride, Laporta, but both these guys should be starting. Should I start Godwin or Kincaid? Tank Dell or Nakua. 14-team Superflex Levis or take a shot with Singletary, half PPR.
I'm going Will.
I don't know. I really don't know.
1 pass changes his day.
Probably will. B Growing Stuff says pick 2 Collins, Pacheco, or Ty Chandler if Madison's out. This is Collins and Chandler if Madison's out. If Madison plays, probably Pacheco and Collins.
Completely agree.
Washington or Detroit? I'm going to go Detroit.
Yep.
DJ Moore will put up 100. That's
look it up. That's going to lose.
Yeah. Emiliano says 7-3 in a Dynasty Superflex League. Traded a late 3rd and a late 4th for Josh Dobbs. I like that move.
Love it.
Love it. Start Adam Thielen or Brandon Cooks. I'm going Adam Thielen.
Yep.
Brian Robinson, Nico Collins, Breece Hall. Pick 2 at the flex. Breece Hall and Brian Robinson for me.
Brian Robinson, Nico.
Okay. Flex McBride or Addison McBride?
McBride.
Is Keenan playing? Yes, Keenan will play. Kincaid or Ingram? Kincaid. Need 1 running back, 1 wide receiver in a flexible PPR. Connor, Hall, Javonte Rice, or Puka.
Puka.
So 3 players here: Hall, Puka, and Javonte.
Yeah, exactly.
Gibbs for me over Javonte.
Agreed.
Cameron says Brian Robb. We already answered that, yeah. Hospital Mike says 12-team PPR had Mark Andrews, Justin Jefferson for Kelsey and Pollard. If they accept, yes, definitely.
Yep.
Take the Kelsey side. Should I consider starting Chandler over Pacheco this week?
Yes.
If Madison doesn't play, yes. So, yeah. And flex, DJ, DK, Pacheco, or Laporta. Laporta, yeah. Dylan says this will be the last question we answer today, guys.
Here's a big one here for Dylan. I'll go first. Yeah. All right, full start sit, full PPR question. Start one flex, Hollywood or McBride.
We're on two different sides here. It's McBride for me.
Well, I would say McBride over Hollywood.
You said Hollywood earlier, though.
Not McBride. At least I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I would have.
Okay.
At least I would have McBride. I could be wrong though.
Okay, yeah. So we're both gonna say McBride there. Start one running back in a flex. Connor, Achane, Waddle. That would be Connor and Achane for me.
Start one running back in a flex. Yeah, it'd be Connor and Achane. Well,
start one quarterback, one running back in a flex. Stroud, Fields, Connor, Ford, Singletary, and Waddle. One quarterback, one running back in a flex.
Maybe Stroud.
But Connor,
we can't.
And Waddle for me.
Okay, I'm assuming it's different teams, right?
Yes. Yeah, these are all different questions.
Okay, so Stroud, Connor, and Waddle as well for me.
Yes.
As well. I mean, he has a second part. Is that part of his question?
It's just talking about the Ravens. I think the Ravens will still be good. They have a great defense. They just need to feature Zay Flowers, honestly.
They did.
Kind of. They kind of did. Guys, we have been live for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We typically only go live for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. We told y'all 20 minutes ago we were extending the live by 20 minutes just to help you guys out. We answered as many questions as we could today. Of course, we weren't able to get to every question, but we tried our absolute best. So thank you for all the love. Good luck this week, guys. And, of course, if you guys do want some personalized advice where you can ask us a question in a DM, that's available to anybody who's on the Mother Flocker tier over on the Flock Fantasy website. So I'll put that link in the chat there. If you want to sign up, make sure you use our code LAND. That's it for today. We appreciate y'all and enjoy. I keep seeing people saying, please answer my question. Please, guys, we have been live for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We told you guys 20 minutes ago that we would be logging off 20 minutes at that point. We try our best every stream. Y'all know this. But there's a way that you can access us at any moment if you want to. That's in the chat if you really desperately need the help. Otherwise, we got to go live our lives with our family. We got to go get some food. We got to go hang out with our wives. We love you. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week.